Chapter 26. Rawls' words are undoubtedly the greatest affirmation of Lin Chen's recent performance. Perhaps for other players, it may sound like a fantasy to be recommended to the first team just after entering Castillo, but this does not apply to Lin Chen. Up to now, Lin Chen has scored 14 goals in 4 games in Castillo. Such a terrifying scoring efficiency is basically not comparable to any player in the history of the Castillo team. In fact, when Zidane came to Castillo to observe Lin Chen's training, Raul seemed to recommend Lin Chen to Zidane. But for some reason, Zidane just looked at it for a while and then shook his head and left. Regarding Zidane's inner thoughts, Raul, as the old captain, may also be able to guess a little bit, but he is not very sure, so he just said to Lin Chen that he can recommend something. But is getting into the first team really the best option? After a short period of excitement, Lin Chen calmed down and considered this issue seriously. Although the rumors that Ronaldo is going to leave Real Madrid are getting louder and louder, even if Ronaldo leaves, the forward reserve of Real Madrid's first team is still very top. Not to mention Benzema, Bell, and even the strength of the substitute Marco Asensio is top-notch in any team. The nearly 21-year-old Spanish devil came to Real Madrid with a transfer fee of €390 in the 16th season. Although he did not score many goals in the 2 seasons of Real Madrid, he still played more than 20 games in the league every year. Rate. It can be seen from this that the head coach Zidane still appreciates this player very much, but the strength of other Real Madrid forwards is too dazzling to cover his brilliance. As the super team of La Liga, Real Madrid, a galaxy giant in the football world, is naturally the dream of countless players to be able to play in his first team. Advertisement. But Lin Chen also knew in his heart that with his current strength, he would not be able to gain a firm foothold in the first team of Real Madrid. Although his physical ability is very outstanding, and he also has the buff of shooter instinct, but in La Liga, one of the 5 major leagues, the offensive and defensive pressure faced by Real Madrid's first team is not at the level of the current La Liga B. So Lin Chen now needs stronger and more comprehensive attributes to deal with various challenges that may come in the future. So Lin Chen thought for a while and said to Raul, "It may not be the best choice to enter the first team now. I still need to keep playing to improve myself. Why don't you loan me to the mid-range teams of the 5 major leagues next season to exercise, and it will also allow me to better adapt to the rhythm of the first team. During the winter window, if the team needs me, I can come back." Raul was a little surprised by Lin Chen's words. After all, not everyone can resist the temptation of Real Madrid's first team. "Maybe your idea is more comprehensive. I will seriously consider this suggestion. If the club agrees, I will loan you out if there is a suitable team." Raul agreed with Lin Chen's suggestion very much, and then made a promise with Lin Chen. But Lin Chen doesn't pin all his hopes on going out on loan to play games. What Lin Chen needs most now is scoring goals, and needs more attribute points to improve himself. Then Lin Chen and Raul said they hoped to play the whole game to better train themselves. At first, Raul was a little worried about whether Lin Chen's scoring efficiency would provoke vicious revenge from the opponent, but Lin Chen immediately promised that if there was something wrong, he would end the game. Advertisement. Raul thought about it for a while, and felt that there was nothing wrong with this, and Raul also thought that it would be too wasteful to let Lin Chen only play half of the game, and it would not be good for Lin Chen's career development, and then agreed to Lin Chen's request. Due to the international match day, after playing against the Celcita team, there is a game window of about 2 weeks. In fact, in the past 2 weeks, Lin Chen has been thinking about whether it is the best choice for him to enter the first team of Real Madrid. Although Real Madrid looks glamorous on the outside and is a super team in La Liga, Lin Chen knows the inside of the Real Madrid dressing room. The things are also enough to make people upset. Lin Chen later found that he didn't need to think so much now. Improving his ability is the first priority. If his strength cannot meet the requirements of the first team, then these considerations are undoubtedly self-indulgent. And Lin Chen has been wondering whether hard training will improve his ability. Finally, after a special training session, Lin Chen's question was answered. After a special breakthrough training for Lin Chen in San Diego, Lin Chen opened the attribute panel and found that his breakthrough ability value had increased from 50 points to 52 points. Although there is only a 2-point improvement, for Lin Chen, any increase in attributes is an affirmation of his hard work. Even, the feeling of being rewarded after this kind of hard work made him happier than Lin Chen directly adding points. 2 weeks flew by. Soon, the team ushered in the next game, at home against Fuenlabrada. Lin Chen is also looking forward to this game, because this is the first game after Raul agreed to play the whole game. Chapter 27. April 22nd. Castillo hosts Fuenlabrada at home. Because of Raul's remarks in the interview after the last game, some media also paid special attention to this game, wanting to see what kind of player Raul said the future of Real Madrid. As the leader of West Division B this season, Fuenlabrada's head coach Casmon doesn't think Lin Chen is as good as everyone brags about. Casmon believed that the reason for Castillo's big wins in the previous games was that they were frightened by Lin Chen and began to shrink their defense before halftime. In this way, Castillo, who was originally leading, played very relaxed, while their own players could only passively accept Lin Chen's wanton attack. So in this game, Fuenlabrada chose to directly attack Castillo to see whose offense is sharper. Raul was also a little surprised to see Fuenlabrada put up a 3421 formation. This is the first time anyone dared to use only 3 defenders to form a defense line in front of Lin Chen. But thinking of Fuenlabrada as the current leader of the league, he naturally has his arrogance. At 6 p.m. local time, the game officially began. Facing the opponent's attack, Sinai was also a little flustered under the pressure, and directly gave the ball to the opposing striker Lewin in the backcourt. Castillo's other backcourt players probably didn't expect that there would be someone who dared to fight against him. He accidentally broke into the penalty area by Rubin. Facing the goalkeeper Moha, Rubin directly scored the ball. 0-1. Just 2 minutes after the start of the game, Castillo scored a goal, which was unexpected by everyone. Raul was very upset at this time and shouted directly at the players. "Is it because the off-season is too long, you forgot how to play football?" The Castillo players couldn't help feeling ashamed when they heard this. Fuenlabrada's head coach, Casmon, was also very happy when he saw Raul's face. "This is Castillo? That's all." However, this mood was quickly wiped out by Lin Chen's lightning equalizer goal. In the 5th minute of the game, advertisement Castillo adjusted his mental state and prepared to fight the Fuenlabrada team for real, which is bound to completely defeat the arrogant Fuenlabrada team. Lin Chen also had the same thought: how could he let others steal the limelight in his first game where he could play the entire game? In the middle circle, Sinai handed the ball to Alex, who was hovering on the sideline. Since Fuenlabrada adopted a 3-back formation, the latter was not blocked after receiving the ball, and quickly ran to the big court with the ball. The frontier of the restricted area. Then he made a straight pass and handed the ball to Lin Chen, who crossed into the penalty area diagonally. Naturally, Fuenlabrada would not allow Lin Chen to get the ball so easily. The central defender Furlong followed Lin Chen closely, trying to force Lin Chen out of the penalty area. But Lin Chen ignored Furlong's harassment and directly brought the ball into the small penalty area. When Lin Chen stepped into the small penalty area, he directly hit the goal, and the ball almost slid towards the goal close to the sideline. 1-1. In less than 3 minutes, the game was brought back to a tie. Being equalized so quickly, it was Casmon's turn to be upset. But the Castilian players did not celebrate too much, and even the fans simply applauded Lin Chen. Seeing this, Casmon also felt a little doubt in his heart. "Don't you celebrate goals?" But how did Casmon know that he had completely angered Castillo? The game started again, and Castillo gradually stabilized the situation. 35 minutes. As soon as the Fuenlabrada team was about to take the ball and rush in, Sinai and Federico teamed up to force the ball down, and then directly threw a long pass into the penalty area. The players of the Fuenlabrada team were also a little confused when they saw the ball. Where did they kick it? But in the next second, Lin Chen appeared in the restricted area. It turned out that at the time of the steal, Lin Chen had already run towards the opponent's penalty area. At the moment Sinai passed the ball, Lin Chen passed the last defender and faced the penalty area. In the penalty area, Lin Chen didn't hesitate to face the flying ball and volleyed directly. Advertisement boom. The ball flew up at high speed and fell again, straight into the goal. World wave. Amidst the exclamation of the Castillo fans, the ball also hit the net. 2-1. Casmon finally sensed something was wrong, but by then it was too late. With another wave of fans celebrating, Lin Chen scored with a header in the penalty area. 3-1. While the opposing goalkeeper was still upset, the halftime game ended. After a short break, the game started again. The following time seemed to be Lin Chen's solo performance. Headed goal. Steal the goal directly in the penalty area. Lin Chen kicked his head and scored goals one after another. When the score came to 5-1, Lin Chen had also completed 5 admissions. The Fuenlabrada team has been completely beaten, what kind of monster player is this, it is impossible to guard against it. Kazman's face was livid at this time, his 3-back formation was not enough in front of Lin Chen, and he was being played by the opponent like a toy. Raoul was completely shocked by Lin Chen's performance at this time, and couldn't help but wonder where Lin Chen's limit is. P.S. Anyone else? Tat, looking for flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and various data. Chapter 28. The game is far from over. After receiving a pass from Fran on the left, Sinai slashed forward, and the players on the back line were immediately attracted. After being blocked by the opponent, Sinai passed the ball to Lin Chen's feet. Standing on the edge of the penalty area, Lin Chen looked at the 5 defenders in the penalty area and did not rush forward. After Lin Chen received the ball, he adjusted his posture, stood with his right foot in the penalty area, and his body suddenly twisted into a bow shape at the moment when his left foot swung on the ball. The ball flew up in an instant, drew an arc in the air and went straight to the goal. World wave! The commentator was also amazed at the beauty of the ball and exclaimed. The ball flies to the dead corner of the goal. The score was rewritten again. 6-1. If Lin Chen is the dancer on the court, then the Di Stefano Stadium is the stage to show off. Castillo has gone crazy. Under the strong offensive, the Fuenlabrada team has no idea of the game at all. They just wanted to escape from the stadium quickly, but looking at the time displayed on the big screen, it was only 72 minutes. The stands. All Castillo fans couldn't believe the scene in front of them. Is this really a striker from their own youth training? This is too fierce. Facing an adult team like the Fuenlabrada team, they can still perform at such a level, which is beyond everyone's expectations, and the opponent is the leader of the league. Now that the season is coming to an end, Lin Chen, as a team that is sure to be promoted to the second division, has defeated the Fuenlabrada team. Where is Lin Chen's limit? Fans want to see it. One more. The cheers of the Castillo fans were overwhelming, and they wanted to see Lin Chen continue to score. Raoul was naturally happy to see this situation, applauded the team's performance, and then arranged for the players to continue attacking. It is bound to leave a painful lesson for the Fuenlabrada team. Advertisement. The 80th minute. Rodriguez dribbled the ball to the wing and made a pass. At this time, the Fuenlabrada team, which was fully defensive, actually had 9 players staying in the penalty area. As the ball reached the penalty area, everyone was in a mess, and Lin Chen also failed to grab the header. When the defenders of the Fuenlabrada team wanted to kick the ball out of the siege in a panic, Lin Chen squeezed away the 2 defenders in front. He poked hard with his toe. Although the goalkeeper had already reacted, he still couldn't reach out to hook the ball. In this way, the ball slipped into the goal under the watchful eyes of all the players. 7-1. 7 stars. Lin Chen has gone crazy. The Di Stefano Stadium is completely boiling. The fans were chanting Lin Chen's name. If it is on the opponent's court, this score can not only be said to be a blow to the opponent, but it can even directly hit the opponent's fans shouting the head coach to dismiss get out of class. Continue. Continue. The stands. The voices of the Castillo fans were louder and louder. Fuenlabrada's players were a little dazed when they heard the crazy shouts of the fans. Why do we fight like this? When the players of the Fuenlabrada team turned their eyes to the coach's bench for help, they found that the head coach Kazman had disappeared. It turned out that when everyone was celebrating Lin Chen's 7th goal, Kazman left the coach's dug with a livid face and left the court directly. There is not much time left for the Fuenlabrada team to think. The 85th minute. Lin Chen jumped high in the penalty area again and headed the ball into the goal. Advertisement 8-1. The fans of Castillo seem to have seen a black bomber bombarding Fuenlabrada's goal indiscriminately. Lin Chen. Hysterical shouts resounded throughout the Di Stefano Stadium. At this time, the Hwagyo fans who were watching the live broadcast of the game in Hwagyo were so shocked that they were speechless for a long time after seeing Lin Chen score 8 goals in a single game. When did you see Hwagyo players abuse European teams so much on the field? No. Lin Chen is the first. Excited Hwagyo fans took screenshots of the game and posted them in moments to record this historic moment. Although Lin Chen is only playing in West Division B, all Hwagyo fans believe that Lin Chen, who is only 18 years old, will definitely have a bigger stage in the future. Facing the Fuenlabrada team, which is about to be promoted to the second division, Lin Chen completed a massacre by himself. On the bench, Raoul shook his head in disbelief, as if he saw a monster venting wantonly on the court. Unit players scored 8 goals in a single game. This has broken Castillo's single goal record. Facing Fuenlabrada, which is about to be promoted to the second division, Lin Chen can still show his terrifying scoring efficiency. Raul can't help but wonder, which team can stop Lin Chen from scoring goals. Looking at it now, Lin Chen has absolutely no team that can defend him in West Division B. Raul looked at the Castillo players wantonly celebrating on the court and thought to himself. Perhaps the low-level leagues are no longer suitable for Lin Chen. P.S. Anyone else? Tat, looking for flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and various data. Chapter 29. The game finally fixed the score at 9-1. Lin Chen also scored another goal in stoppage time in the last 3 minutes. 9 goals in a single game. If it is said that being able to stage a hat-trick is already a very exciting performance for a player, then Lin Chen has completed 3 hat-tricks in this game. After the game, all the fans in the Di Stefano Stadium stood up and applauded Lin Chen. They are witnessing the birth of a genius. The rise of a great striker. If there is no applause for a player like Lin Chen, then perhaps no one in the entire Castillo is worthy of it, and perhaps there will be no one in the future. While everyone was happy for Castillo's big victory, Lin Chen, who scored 9 goals, couldn't be happy at all. It turned out that when Lin Chen scored the 9th goal, his attribute points did not increase, and it was still at 11 points. Lin Chen couldn't help but feel a little disappointed, and his plan to collect attribute points fell through. But Lin Chen immediately understood that the level of West Division B was no longer able to add attribute points to himself. After the game, Lin Chen took the initiative to find the head coach Raul, expressed his thoughts, and wanted to challenge himself to a higher level league. Raul naturally agreed to Lin Chen's request, but he didn't expect Lin Chen's idea to be so urgent. However, when Raul recalled that Lin Chen had scored more than 20 goals in the previous 5 games, he also lamented that the current level of West Division B is really not suitable for Lin Chen. Immediately, Raul also said that there is a suitable loan offer, and he will notify Lin Chen as soon as possible. The next day. Perhaps the score of yesterday's game may be too disparate, and the opponent is also a team that is about to be promoted to La Liga. Therefore, various football media also reported on Castillo's victory, and Lin Chen, who scored 9 goals alone, naturally became the focus of the news. Advertisement Spanish Football Post, after Morata, Castillo has reproduced a talented striker. 90 minutes, 9 goals in a single game. The Huaguo teenager set a historical record in Castillo. Madrid Morning Post, the Di Stefano Stadium welcomes their prince again. Even Madrid's most famous local media, Marca, wrote an article detailing Lin Chen's player deeds. All of a sudden, Lin Chen became a hot player in Madrid and even Spain. Many fans knew that there was another talented striker in Castillo, and this new star was rising at an extremely fast speed. The news media reported Lin Chen with such fanfare, which naturally attracted the attention of many team scouts. The next day, inside the Castillo training base, the team's transfer director, Emilio, was almost overwhelmed by transfer and loan offers from other teams today, and teams sent new offers from time to time. From the secondary leagues to leagues like the Portuguese and Eredivisie leagues, and even some wealthy teams, all of them showed great interest in Lin Chen. When Raul came to the office, Emilio said to Raul excitedly holding an offer. Look, Bayern sent another offer, hoping to buy Lin Chen at a price of 10 million euros, and even gave a 40% follow-up transfer income clause. Originally, Raul was still a little puzzled, what exactly was the offer that made Castillo's transfer director so excited? 1 million euros may not be a big deal. After all, considering Lin Chen's performance and age, 1 million euros is even a little low, but after hearing Emilio's 40% transfer income, Raul couldn't help being a little surprised. This is equivalent to Bayern buying Lin Chen with 10 million euros, and if Lin Chen transfers again later, he will have to pay Castillo another 40% of the transfer fee. That is to say, if Lin Chen is sold to Bayern now, regardless of whether Lin Chen can be kicked out in the future, Castillo will not lose money. If Lin Chen is kicked out, the higher transfer fee in the future will be half of his own. If he is not kicked out, he will already earn 1000 euros. Even Emilio, who has seen strong winds and waves, is a little moved by this condition. Advertisement, but Raul just shook his head. Is there any other offer, I mean a loan offer from a certain team? Seeing that Raul was unmoved, Emilio felt a little regretful, then shrugged and said. I see what you mean, this loan offer is from Schalke 04. Emilio took out the prepared quotation from the table and handed it to Raul. He naturally understood that Raoul loved and favored Lin Chen, and even such an offer from Bayern could not impress Raoul. But I was still a little surprised that Raoul actually used his old team relationship for Lin Chen. Raoul joined Schalke 04 in the 2010 season. Although he only played for 2 short seasons, the relationship between Raoul and Schalke 04 chairman Clemens is still very good. Then Emilio said to Raoul, "This offer is not considered generous, but it has a recall clause at any time, which may be very suitable for Lin Chen." Raoul took a look at the quotation and felt that there was nothing wrong with it, so he bid farewell to Emilio and found Lin Chen. On the training ground, Raoul called Lin Chen who was training, and then gave Lin Chen the Schalke 04 loan offer. "The Bundesliga team Schalke 04, I think it should meet your requirements." Lin Chen was also a little surprised that a Bundesliga team wanted to loan him so soon. "How about it, do you want to go?" Hearing Raoul asking himself this question, Lin Chen naturally agreed with great joy. "I hope to go to a higher level league to meet the challenge. P.S. Anyone else? Tat, looking for flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and various data." Chapter 30. At the end of yesterday's game, Raoul immediately thought of Schalke 04 after hearing Lin Chen's thoughts. So he dialed the phone number of Chairman Clemens, and the other party agreed to Lin Chen's going to Schalke 04 after receiving Raoul's assurance. Because Lin Chen's youth training contract is about to expire. So Raoul fought for a new contract for Lin Chen. The salary level of this contract has been greatly increased, and it can be regarded as the highest youth training contract in Castillo. This is the importance that Raoul and Real Madrid Castillo attach to Lin Chen. During the loan period, Castillo bears all of Lin Chen's costs, which is naturally not a big deal for Castillo with deep pockets. At the same time, let Lin Chen go to Schalke 04, the most important thing is that there is a recall clause at the end of the contract. Since Schalke 04 is in the Bundesliga, there is no worry about playing for 2 teams in the same league in the same season. Real Madrid can recall Lin Chen back to their home team at any time. Raoul helped himself so selflessly, and for the first time in a foreign country, Lin Chen felt the warmth from others. And Lin Chen knows that although this loan contract is very beneficial to his own development, it is not beneficial to the loan team at all. It can only serve as a platform for leveling, and it will also face the impact of being recruited back at any time. It can be seen that Raoul naturally spent a lot of effort for such a lease contract. After that, Raoul also gave Lin Chen a guarantee. As long as Lin Chen is willing to come back in the winter window, Real Madrid welcomes him at any time, and he is in the first team. After Lin Chen heard Raoul's guarantee, Lin Chen was a little moved and gave him a guarantee. "I will definitely be back." Perhaps because of the news that Lin Chen was about to leave the team members also sent blessings to Lin Chen, and Captain Sinai was a little sad. Although he has only been with Lin Chen for less than 2 months, Sinai has been completely conquered by Lin Chen's personality and skills. Advertisement boy, perform well in the Bundesliga, don't embarrass us in Real Madrid's youth training. Sinai pursed his lips and said after hugging Lin Chen. "You haven't seen me play football, don't you know how fierce I am? Just wait for me to torture the Bundesliga." Lin Chen exaggeratedly said to Sinai in order to ease the somewhat sad atmosphere. "Besides, I'm not coming back." The teammates laughed when they heard Lin Chen's funny words. But the Castillo players knew in their hearts that although Lin Chen would come back, he might not return to Castillo again. With Lin Chen's ability, after training in the Bundesliga, he will definitely join the first team directly, so the next days may be the last time he can be teammates with Lin Chen. 2 days later, Castillo ushered in the penultimate game of the season, away to SS Reyes. Due to the successive big victories in the previous few games, Castillo is already in the middle and upper reaches of the standings. Although there is no possibility of promotion, this score is completely enough for relegation. So Raoul also adopted a large-scale rotation in this game. As for Lin Chen, in order to ensure his condition, Raoul let Lin Chen continue to start, but there was no requirement. After the game started, SS Reyes seemed to be frightened by Castillo's record in recent games, so he directly chose a no-front defensive formation. Even though Raoul used a large number of substitute players in this game, seeing that Lin Chen was still on the court, he started to set up the bus as soon as the game opened. Lin Chen was also a little helpless, and directly shook his head and sighed. It really doesn't make any sense to play in West Division B again. And now scoring goals in West Division B can no longer increase attribute points, so Lin Chen simply doesn't run into the penalty area. Advertisement. But the new substitute team is a little anxious. They play to support Lin Chen. What do you mean by not entering the penalty area? So the scene on the court started to be a bit strange. On the one hand, SS Reyes was huddled in his own half and couldn't even reach the center line. Lin Chen gave the ball to the front court, and the front court player saw that Lin Chen didn't run forward, so he handed it back to Lin Chen. This scene also made the Hwagyo fans who were watching the live broadcast immediately happy, and they all commented on the animation broadcast of the net. I'm dying of laughter, what are these substitute players doing? The team is bullying the stone hammer. If I am not in the penalty area, the team members will not dare to attack. What is the throne? It was also the first time for Hwagyo fans to see a Hwagyo player with such a status in the European arena. After a brief surprise, they began to work in the comment area. And on the sidelines. Raul saw this scene but had another idea. Could it be because I'm about to leave the team and feel sad? After thinking for a while, Raul felt that Lin Chen probably had no intention of competing because he was in a low mood, so he arranged for Pedro to warm up and prepare to replace Lin Chen. After the game, Raul found Lin Chen and said firmly, "You will always be a child of Real Madrid. Don't care about leaving at this moment." After Raul finished speaking, he turned and left, leaving only Lin Chen who was still in a daze. Update rules: 1000 flowers plus 1 change, 100 comments plus 1 change, 3 monthly tickets plus 1 change. Chapter 31. In the end, Castillo defeated SS Reyes 1-0 in the away game even without Lin Chen. Pedro scored a goal after coming off the bench, and Pedro, who has not been in the main position for a long time, enjoyed the game to the fullest. Due to the relationship between the international competition days some time ago, the last few league games were also arranged intensively. Castillo needs to play 2 games within 7 days, and the opponents are Sporting Ferrol and Real Valladolid B. Although Raul didn't know Lin Chen's inner thoughts in the last game, the words after the game were still helpful to Lin Chen's state. In 2 consecutive games, Lin Chen continued to play at the level he should have, facing Sporting Ferrol and Real Valladolid B. Maybe Lin Chen also wanted to give Castillo fans a few more victories before leaving. Although there was no scoring reward, Lin Chen showed no mercy, averaging a hat-trick per game to help the team win the game. With the end of the 2017-18 season, many Hwagyo fans who followed Lin Chen began to pay attention to where Lin Chen will go next. KnowingTheBall.com has opened up a separate player section for Lin Chen, and fans are constantly discussing which team Lin Chen should go to in Lin Chen's section. As for staying in Castile, no Hwagyo fans would have such an idea at all. He scored more than 30 goals in 8 games. If this kind of player stays in Castillo, Hwagyo fans will only think that the brains of the Real Madrid management are broken. Reasonable discussion: will Lin Chen be directly promoted to the first team? A fan posted such a post in the board, and soon many fans discussed it below. It's normal to be promoted to the first team with this kind of performance, it's strange not to get in. In fact, Lin Chen shouldn't have to join the first team. Even if Ronaldo is leaving, is Lin Chen now capable of competing with Benzema, Bell and others for the main position? It's good to be promoted to be a substitute. Hasn't Asensio been a substitute for a long time, and that's Real Madrid's first team? As Lin Chen's villager, Hwagyo fans are constantly discussing Lin Chen's possible future. Advertisement: just as the fans were guessing, the moderator Lin Chen's #1 black fan posted a pinned post. Deal. Lin Chen will land in the Bundesliga next season and join Schalke 04. After this news came out, many Hwagyo fans were surprised. How could it be Schalke 04? I thought it was Real Madrid's first team. Didn't you say that Bayern would buy Lin Chen? Why didn't Bayern go to Schalke 04 instead? Going to Schalke 04 is better than staying in Castillo and waiting for the first team call-up. When the doubtful fans saw the details of the contract, they immediately understood why Lin Chen joined Schalke 04. The contract is actually a loan contract, which clearly states that Real Madrid can recall Lin Chen at any time, which makes Hwagyo fans understand that Real Madrid is still unwilling to let Lin Chen, a future star, go. To be honest, I think Lin Chen going to Schalke 04 is the best choice. I agree. After all, the pressure of being directly promoted to the first team of Real Madrid is too great, and it is easy to miss the game. It's scary to think about competing for the main position with Bell and Benzema. After some discussions, many fans found that going to the Bundesliga is indeed a better choice after careful consideration, and Lin Chen can return to Real Madrid's first team to play at any time as long as he performs well. Is the upstairs underestimating Schalke 04? This season Schalke 04 is the second place in the Bundesliga. And as long as Lin Chen performs well, he can even play in the Champions League. Perhaps some fans of Schalke 04 couldn't bear to see how everyone underestimated their own team and commented directly. At this time, the fans also suddenly discovered that Lin Chen has a chance to play in the Champions League next season, which is much easier than competing for a position in the Real Madrid first team. Advertisement. After some discussion, Hwagyo fans believed that Lin Chen's choice to go to Schalke 04 was very reasonable. May 26 Champions League Final, Real Madrid vs Liverpool. On this day, Lin Chen and his teammates stayed at the base to watch the game. The process also did not surprise Lin Chen. After Benzema scored in the 51st minute, Bell came off the bench to double and contributed a wonderful barb world wave. In the end, Real Madrid 3-1 Liverpool won the Champions League for 3 consecutive times. Ronaldo didn't score in this game. Lin Chen knew that this might be a pity for many fans later. After all, this was Ronaldo's last game in Real Madrid. Looking at the teammates embracing and celebrating, Lin Chen knew that this star-studded team would soon fall apart. Cristiano Ronaldo left the Apennine Peninsula, the coach retired, and fell into the quagmire of coaching changes. As for the poor performance of Bell and new aide Mariano, which led to the weakness of the front, and the abandonment of the old will lead to the collapse of the defense, that is another story. On the second day, Lin Chen didn't tell his teammates about his departure. After visiting Raul and the youth training coach Daniel, he boarded a plane to Germany. Looking at the shrinking Madrid from the window, Lin Chen closed his eyes slightly and lay down on the seat. Bundesliga. Lin Chen, are here. I'm begging for all kinds of data on the street, big guys cheering. Chapter 32. Schalke 04 Football Club. This club located in the Schalke region in the north of western Germany has always been a traditional powerhouse in German and European football. In Schalke 04's 14-year team history, he has won 7 top German Football League titles, 5 DFB Cup titles and a UEFA Cup title. Among them, the 1990s was undoubtedly the most glorious time for the team's record. In the 95-96 season, the team defeated Inter Milan 4-1 on penalties and won the UEFA Cup for the first time in the team's history. Although Schalke 04 is far from its previous glory, it is still a traditional powerhouse in the Bundesliga. Last season, it achieved the second place in the Bundesliga in one fell swoop and won the Champions League seat. Perhaps because of Raul's relationship with Chairman Clemens, Lin Chen did not receive a cold reception after joining the team. The then head coach Domenico Tedesco led the players to warmly welcome Lin Chen's arrival. The players of Schalke 04 had heard the head coach say that the new player is a talented centre-forward of Real Madrid, and they couldn't help wondering what kind of player could make the famous Real Madrid call it a genius. Under the guidance of head coach Tedesco, Lin Chen got to know each player of the team under the leadership of captain Kevin Walter. Lin Chen looked at the teammates in front of him and recalled the memory of Schalke 04. Schalke 04 lost a lot of blood this summer. 2 outstanding youth training players Krell and Meyer left the team, and the German international Goretzka, who had played for the team for 5 years, also switched to Bayern after finding another job. For this situation, the club also made 6 targeted signings. They are mainly based on strength. Ute, Salif Sane, Mascarelli and others are all familiar players in the Bundesliga. Their more down-to-earth style of play is exactly what the pragmatic coach Tedesco likes. Thinking of this, Lin Chen couldn't help but work harder for himself in his heart. It is necessary to compete for a main position from this group of people. After all, I did not come to Schalke 04 to dawdle. After that, Lin Chen gradually adapted to the atmosphere of the team. The third day of joining the team. Advertisement. Lin Chen ushered in his first team training match, and Lin Chen was assigned to the substitute team. Shortly after the game started. After receiving a pass from his teammate Schopf, Lin Chen directly scored a world wave goal in the penalty area. He scored a goal at the beginning of the game, and this performance also made Tedesco's eyes shine. Subsequent time. Lin Chen did not feel uncomfortable facing the defensive pressure of the first team. Instead, he faced defender Benjamin Stamboli and scored the ball. Scored twice. Schalke 04 teammates were also shocked by Lin Chen's performance. Are all youth training players so fierce now? Immediately, his teammates looked at the 18-year-old fullback Juan Miranda, who blushed. Lin Chen's performance was also secretly remembered by Tedesco. In subsequent training matches, Lin Chen maintained his scoring efficiency, scoring consecutive goals with overhead kicks. Facing the defensive pressure of the first team in the Bundesliga, Lin Chen still showed strong physical fitness and the ability to grab points in front of the goal. Although the dribbling ability is not impressive, Tedesco was surprised to have such a skill as a center forward. Even now the players in the team have an illusion: as long as Lin Chen is in the penalty area, there is no goal that he cannot score. Assistant coach Peter Petzold also handed over the player analysis report to head coach Tedesco after carefully observing Lin Chen's several training games. Body, top, shooter, upper middle consciousness, upper middle, field of vision, medium grabbing ability, top level, dribbling, top. When he saw the evaluation in the analysis report, Tedesco couldn't help giving Lin Chen a thumbs up secretly. Advertisement at first: I just thought that the chairman had stuffed himself into a relationship account, but I didn't expect Lin Chen to have such strength. Even in a Bundesliga powerhouse like Schalke 04, he is very eye-catching. Tedesco finally knew why the loan contract had a recall clause at any time. It turned out that Real Madrid also valued Lin Chen very much, and they were ready to call him back to play in the first team at any time. When Lin Chen was working hard to improve himself in Schalke 04, a piece of news shocked the entire football world. Ronaldo officially transferred to Juventus, ending his 9-year Real Madrid career. July 10, 2018. Real Madrid official website stated, the team's superstar and 5-time Ballon d'Or winner Cristiano Ronaldo moved to Serie A class bully Juventus. And Real Madrid also expressed their gratitude to Ronaldo. He has proven himself to be the best player in the World Cup and he has left his mark on one of the greatest eras for our club and world football. Ronaldo also published a farewell letter to the fans through Real Madrid's official website, expressing his gratitude to the fans over the years. Although the news about Ronaldo's transfer was flying all over the sky before, no one could believe that Ronaldo was really leaving the Bernabéu until the last moment. Perhaps Ronaldo's name has already been engraved on the Real Madrid team. This news broke the hearts of many Real Madrid fans. Their Bernabéu king, 5-time Ballon d'Or winner Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo is finally leaving. If it is said that Zidane's resignation before this made Real Madrid fans regrettable, Ronaldo's departure is undoubtedly like a blow to the head of Real Madrid fans. No one can believe that Ronaldo left Real Madrid like this. Lin Chen, who was far away in Germany, looked towards the direction of Madrid in the south and sighed slightly after hearing the news. P.S. Big guys, put in some data. Chapter 33. Ronaldo has officially left Real Madrid. This is the place where he played for 9 years and won countless honors. Although he is gone, he still left his mark in many places. Some fans wept sadly, while others were extremely angry. Some extreme fans even burned the number 7 jersey of Ronaldo's Real Madrid era and shouted Messi's name. But it all goes to show what Ronaldo means to Real Madrid and no one wants him to leave. Regarding the reasons for Ronaldo's departure, the media have also reported one after another. The biggest reason is undoubtedly because Ronaldo has no hope of raising his salary in Real Madrid, so he chose to leave. On the other hand, Messi, who is also one of the peerless double prides. The annual salary in Barcelona has reached 40 million euros, while Ronaldo is only half of Messi in Real Madrid. This must be unacceptable for Ronaldo. Afterwards, Ronaldo's negotiations with Real Madrid also ended in Real Madrid's back and forth. This also directly made Ronaldo choose the most extreme and least willing way: transfer away. Ronaldo's departure also shocked the Real Madrid fans in Daxia. Perhaps already accustomed to the figure of this peerless favorite running hard on the Bernabéu, the fans simply cannot accept Ronaldo's departure. It's hard for me as a Barcelona fan. Largest fan migration in history. Advertisement: La Liga duo, Mello era. 10 years of youth, goodbye. It's time to reveal my status as a 20-year Juventus fan. When I came, I was the 16th man, and when I went, I was the Triple Crown King. At this time, all football forums, websites, and even various social media are full of comments about Ronaldo, all of which feel sorry and reluctant for Ronaldo. But in any case, Ronaldo has left Real Madrid, and in the end it allowed Real Madrid to win the Champions League 3 consecutive times, which can be regarded as a perfect ending. The Real Madrid club naturally understands the thoughts of the fans, and is worried that Real Madrid will sink if they leave Ronaldo. So in the summer window of this season, Real Madrid began to buy players on a large scale. Buy Vinicius from Flamengo for 45 million euros. 35 million euros bought Courtois from Chelsea. 32 million euros bought Odriozola from Real Sociedad. 2150 euros bought Mariano from Lyon. A huge amount of transfer fees are constantly being exposed, and Real Madrid fans feel a little relieved. Even De Thomas, who played with Liza in the future, returned to Real Madrid after his loan this summer. Real Madrid spent a total of €130 million throughout the summer window to continuously strengthen the team lineup, which seems to be a lot of money, but you must know that just selling Ronaldo to Real Madrid earned €112 million. But these have nothing to do with Lin Chen, who is far away in Germany. The most important thing now is to prepare for the new season. Before the start of the season, Schalke 04 arranged several friendly matches. Although Lin Chen performed well in the training match, Tedesco seemed to have his own considerations. So Lin Chen didn't get any chance to play in these few games, and he came off the bench at the end of the game. Even so, in the warm-up match against Fiorentina, Lin Chen still seized the opportunity to score a goal. Advertisement. Perhaps because of Lin Chen's outstanding performance in the training match, the Schalke 04 teammates also wondered why Lin Chen was not in the starting list. But Lin Chen doesn't mind these at all. Lin Chen believes that as long as he works hard to improve himself, the head coach Tedesco will definitely discover his strength. With the end of the friendly match, the time soon came to August 25. After a long off-season, the Bundesliga has also kicked off. In the first round of the Bundesliga, Schalke 04 challenged Wolfsburg, away. Although Lin Chen didn't have many opportunities to play in the warm-up match, head coach Tedesco still added Lin Chen to the squad. Before the game, the match between the two traditional Bundesliga teams also attracted a lot of media attention. For the previous 2 consecutive seasons, Wolfsburg participated in the relegation playoffs as 16th. Of course, Wolfsburg does not want to complete a hat-trick this season. So this season, Wolfsburg invited Schmatek and former player Schaefer to manage the team under the high-level order. In the transfer market, car factory shareholders who are not short of money have invested a net 36 million in Xiaochuang, ranking first in the Bundesliga. As a problem of frontal weakness that has plagued the team for a long time. The team even bought 2 10 million level centers in one go, Weghorst, who scored 18 goals in the Eredivisie last season, and German striker Kinchek. The defender also spent a total of €13 million to buy Tisserand and Roussillon. However, the main players have not flowed out. It can be seen that Wolfsburg still wants to make another achievement in the league this season. P.S. Anyone else? Tat, looking for flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and various data. Chapter 34. Perhaps most Hugyo fans' understanding of Wolfsburg began after Zhang Zijie landed in the Bundesliga. This football club is located in northwestern Germany. Founded in 1945, perhaps compared with teams with a long history, it was established relatively late. But since the start of the 1997 season, Wolfsburg has remained in the Bundesliga and has never been relegated. After Volkswagen invested 90% of the shares in Wolfsburg in 2001, Wolfsburg's seats in the Bundesliga have maintained an upward trend. In the 08-09 season, it was a sudden rise and won the Bundesliga championship. After a short period of glory, Wolfsburg fell rapidly and almost fell into the relegation zone in the second season. In the next few seasons, Wolfsburg's performance has been unstable. Sometimes they can compete for the championship, and sometimes they fight for relegation. So at the beginning of this season, Wolfsburg executives made drastic changes to Wolfsburg after learning from the pain. August 25. The public arena, which can accommodate more than 30,000 people, is already full of fans. Fans from far away in Daxia also gathered around the TV to watch this game. At this time, the official commentator of the Bundesliga introduced the lineups of the two sides before the game. Wolfsburg was not intimidated by Schalke 04's results last season, and set up a 433 formation, preparing for a fierce battle with Schalke 04. New aides Weghorst and Roussillon also started. Perhaps it is Tedesco's more pragmatic style, while Schalke 04 has a 3421 formation. The goalkeeper is Schalke veteran Ralf Fährmann. The back line is composed of Nastasic, Naldo, Sharif Sane. The midfield line is extremely thick, and Baba, Zelda, McKinney, and Kalajiri form a defensive midfielder. Amin Ali and Makout form the core of the offense. The last single arrow is Lin Chen. I was a little surprised when the commentator pronounced Lin Chen's name. Advertisement. Tedesco actually chose to put Bergstaller on the bench and choose Lin Chen as the team's starting center. Perhaps it was worried that the fans would not know who Lin Chen was, so the commentator even made a special explanation. Lin Chen moved from Castillo, Real Madrid's second team, to Schalke 04 this summer. Before that, Lin Chen scored a total of more than 30 goals in 8 games in West Division B. But it's a pity that in Schalke 04's pre-season warm-up match, this young Hyuxia player didn't have much chance to play. After all, the narrator shook his head with some regret, obviously thinking that Tedesco's choice was unwise. I don't know that the commentator thinks this way, and Schalke 04 fans can't understand Tedesco's approach. Are you kidding me? I've never heard of this Lin Chen. It looks like a youth player, which is too young. Can he withstand the defensive pressure at the Bundesliga level? Will Tedesco take too many risks? On German social media, Wolfsburg fans were a little surprised by Lin Chen's appearance. Since Lin Chen came to the team on loan, almost no Wolfsburg fans knew that the team still had Lin Chen. Even after the warm-up match. Although Lin Chen has played, but the impression is not deep. Inside the player tunnel, Lin Chen was also a little surprised by the start of this game. When the roster was announced yesterday, Lin Chen was included in the starting roster, and the veteran Bergstaller could only be used as his substitute. Looking at the field ahead, Lin Chen felt a little excited. Finally set foot on the stadium of the 5 major leagues. At this time, the system suddenly releases tasks. System task, Bundesliga first win. Advertisement. Lin Chen couldn't help but feel proud, and he is bound to win this game. As the players on both sides stand still, the game officially started, with Schalke 04 taking the lead. After the game started, Schalke 04 was not in a hurry to attack, but slowly turned the ball to seek opportunities. But Wolfsburg didn't give Schalke a chance to play grand ball, so all the players pressed on and started to press. The 5th minute of the game. After Wolfsburg midfielder Alexander Arnold made a stealing error, McKennie saw a large space behind him. Then McKennie made a straight pass and found Mark Ut, who was advancing. Roussillon hurriedly stepped forward to block, and Makwat had to rush along the sideline. The ball came near the corner flag in an instant. When Makwat looked up to observe his teammates, Lin Chen was already standing in the penalty area and beckoning to him. Makwat immediately sent a low cross. Lin Chen then accelerated to get rid of the opponent's defender's marking and received the ball on the edge of the small penalty area. Rubbing the ball non-stop, the ball passed by Wolfsburg goalkeeper Castells. This is a goal? The Wolfsburg players couldn't believe it, and the fans at the scene were also stunned. Schalke 04 took their chance and scored a goal in less than 5 minutes. The narrator explained with due diligence. This attack was originally not a threat, but Lin Chen's shot is of extremely high quality, courtside. Head coach Tedesco raised his arms to celebrate Lin Chen's goal. And Tedesco didn't expect Lin Chen to rewrite the score so easily. Chapter 35. As the first game of the new season, the fans of Wolfsburg were very excited at the beginning of the game and kept cheering for the team. But in the 5th minute, Lin Chen scored the goal. The entire public arena fell silent. Who is this player? Why has he never heard of such a strong player? The same idea also appeared in the mind of Wolfsburg coach Bruno Abbadia. Before the game, Bruno guessed that Schalke 04 might use Bergstaller or Embolo as the starting center. But when the final starting list came out, instead, a player named Lin Chen took the center position. Bruno was a little surprised, then checked Lin Chen's profile, and found that Lin Chen had only played in West Division B before. Although there were a lot of goals, Bruno didn't take them seriously. West Division B? It's not at the same level as the Bundesliga, okay? So what if it's Castillo, isn't he a youth player? After Bruno read Lin Chen's information, he was secretly delighted. But only 5 minutes into the game, the blue puppet paid the price for his underestimation of the enemy. At this time, the Schalke 04 fans who were watching the live broadcast were also surprised by Lin Chen's performance. They began to check Lin Chen's profile one after another. Schalke 04 fans were delighted to see Lin Chen from Castillo. It turned out to be from the famous Real Madrid youth training. Fans of Schalke 04 can't help but start to look forward to Lin Chen's next performance. Far away in Daxia. This time Huguo fans don't have to search for Lin Chen's live broadcast. Before the start of the season, there was official news: Sports 5 will renew its rights to broadcast Bundesliga matches. This wasn't big news originally, it was just a normal game broadcast. But as the news of Lin Chen's loan from Schalke 04 came out, Huguo fans suddenly found out. Advertisement: next season, you will be able to watch Lin Chen's live broadcast on Sports 5. So this round of the Bundesliga, Sports Wutai deliberately chose the match between Schalke 04 and Wolfsburg. Before the game, when seeing Lin Chen appear in the starting list, the commentators Shen Jian and Tao Jun were also taken aback. They didn't expect Lin Chen to become the main force so soon. Hwaguo fans are also very excited. Finally, we can see Hwaguo players landing in the 5 major leagues. Knowing the ball net even made a big picture on the cover for Lin Chen to promote the game. The 5 major leagues reappear the figures of Hwaguo players, before the game. This game attracted the attention of many fans. The 5 major leagues once again saw Hwaguo players. And it's a debut. This made the hearts of many Hwaguo fans tremble. After the game starts. Before the commentator introduced Lin Chen's profile to the fans. Lin Chen broke into the penalty area and scored a goal. The narrator Shen Jian became excited and began to speak incoherently. Goal. Lin Chen scored. This is Lin Chen's first goal in the Bundesliga. It was also after Xiao Jiyi scored in the match between Cottbus and Leverkusen on December 13, 2008. After 10 years and a total of 3,542 days, another Hyuxia player who scored goals in the 5 major European leagues. At this moment, Lin Chen made history. No one expected Lin Chen's goal to come so fast. Facing the defense of John Brooks after receiving a pass from Markut, Lin Chen didn't give the American international any chance. Help Schalke 04 open the scoring with a beautiful shot. Shen Jian's commentary was very passionate, and the Hwaguo fans also raised their arms and shouted, excited for Lin Chen's goal. Advertisement inside the public arena. Wolfsburg coach Bruno was very upset at this time. Not long after he signed the contract extension, he was scored by an unknown player at home in the first game of the new season. Defend. Defend. Have you forgotten how to defend yourself? John, if you forget how to play football, I can replace you with Furhatch, on the pitch. John Brooks was also a little helpless. Obviously he had blocked Lin Chen's shot, but Lin Chen's shot still went in. John could only apologize slightly to his teammates and signaled that it was his own problem. Then, the game started again. After Wolfsburg scored a goal, the attack became more violent. But yes, a goal was scored in 5 minutes at home. If you don't attack anymore, it is estimated that the fans will start to abuse directly. The ball is constantly switching. When Wolfsburg midfielder Gilavogi wanted to pass the ball to New Weghorst with a through ball, Caligiuri seemed to have predicted the passing route in advance and directly intercepted the ball. Then he made a long pass to the backcourt of Wolfsburg. At this time, Lin Chen, who was hovering in Wolfsburg's defense line, instantly started and rushed directly to the ball's landing point. At the same time, John also started running towards the ball with Lin Chen. Although Lin Chen's speed did not have an advantage, fortunately Lin Chen started first, and both sides rushed to the landing point at the same time. John directly turned his body sideways, trying to squeeze Lin Chen away with his body. But this played into Lin Chen's hands. Immediately afterwards, Lin Chen also exerted force directly, fighting his body with both hairs at the same time. Next moment, I saw that John was knocked directly to the ground. And Lin Chen has already got the ball. There is no one in front except Wolfsburg goalkeeper Castells. Chapter 36. In the restricted area. Facing the attacking goalkeeper, Lin Chen lobbed a shot directly. The ball passed over Castells' head and crashed into the goal. 0-2. In less than 30 minutes, Schalke 04 had taken a 2-goal lead at Wolfsburg's home court. The Wolfsburg fans in the Volkswagen Arena were a little angry at this time. Is this how the team played in the first game of the new season? The commentator was also surprised by Lin Chen's performance. Lin Chen scored twice. Before halftime, Wolfsburg, who was playing at home, was dealt a head-on blow. Another commentator also echoed. What should be praised more is Lin Chen's ability to adapt. As a player who just came out of the youth training team, he played like this in the first game. It's unbelievable. Wolfsburg head coach Bruno's face was livid for a while, and he sat back on the coach's bench angrily and took a sip of water. Then he slammed the bottle on the ground, got up and roared at the Wolfsburg players. Focus. After playing like this, we can directly announce the end of the game. On the other hand, Tedesco, the head coach of Schalke 04, is full of joy. Originally before the game, Tedesco did not have much expectation for Lin Chen to be included in the starting list. I just hope to use Lin Chen's strong physical fitness to attack Schalke 04's defense first. Then Bergstaller came off the bench to complete the final blow. But the direction of the game has completely exceeded Tedesco's expectations. In just 30 minutes, Lin Chen relied on his sensitive ability to grab points in front of goal and superb shooting skills. Advertisement almost relying on his own strength, he smashed Wolf Castle's defense line to pieces. At this time, Tedesco had a bold idea in his mind. Do you want to buy Lin Chen directly? In fact, Bayern had bought Lin Chen before, and Tedesco had also heard about it, but he didn't know the details. However, from the rumors, Tedesco estimated that Bayern paid a transfer fee of less than 10 million euros. 1000 euros? It may not be a big deal for Bayern. But you must know that this season's summer window Schalke 04 has invested a total of less than 50 million euros. Moreover, Castillo did not agree to Bayern's offer, and the money they want to buy Lin Chen is far from enough. Coach Tedesco thought for a while, then shook his head with a wry smile. After all, it is only a small club, and there is not so much capital to try and make mistakes with an 18-year-old player. Even Lin Chen's performance is very impressive now. With the whistle of the referee, the game starts again. This time Wolfsburg did not choose to attack in a hurry, under Bruno's signal. Wolfsburg directly chose to change to 541, replacing the underperforming winger Gilavogi with a defender. Then the players of Wolfsburg also stepped up their pressure on Lin Chen. The new Verheyer has only one task at this time, which is to keep an eye on Lin Chen. After Wolfsburg improved its defensive strength, Lin Chen also found out that something was wrong. Lin Chen failed to get the pass from his teammates several times due to interference. Without the shelter of Lin Chen, a high center forward, Schalke 04's front court advancement became more and more difficult. The two sides suddenly stalemate down. At halftime, the score remained 0-2. Advertisement Schalke 04's dressing room. Head coach Tedesco praised Lin Chen unreservedly, and his teammates also praised Lin Chen's performance. Subsequently, Tedesco arranged for the players to pass the ball more to Lin Chen in the second half, and at the same time let the two full-backs of Baba and Caligiuri move forward. Good to help Lin Chen attract the attention of the opposing player. After a short intermission, the second half of the game officially began. The players of Schalke 04 followed the instructions of the head coach, and the entire formation pressed forward. On the Wolfsburg side, all the players seemed very depressed. Unsurprisingly, Bruno lost his temper in the dressing room. 60 minutes. The ball came to Mahmoud, and then Mahmoud now transferred the ball to Caligiuri, who was going forward. He and another front court player, Amin Ali, ran towards the gap in Wolfsburg's defense. In addition, Lin Chen was also hovering on the defense line, so Wolfsburg's entire defense line instantly became 5v4. Although Wolfsburg played one more player on the defensive line, in the face of the breakthrough of Mahmoud and Amin Ali, 3 defensive players had to be separated to flank the two. Lin Chen took advantage of the situation and inserted obliquely into the edge of the penalty area on the left. Caligiuri also saw Lin Chen's running position, passed the ball from outside, and gave the ball to Lin Chen. At this time, Ferhatch had rushed to Lin Chen's side to defend. But Lin Chen did not choose to continue dribbling the ball, but directly hit Ferha at the moment of receiving the ball. Facing the sudden physical confrontation, Verheyer, who was nearly 35 years old, staggered on his feet. At this time, Lin Chen had already entered the restricted area. Lin Chen turned around and shot directly with the outside of his foot. The ball went straight to the upper right corner of the goal along a strange route. P.S. Ask for all kinds of data. Chapter 37. World Wave. And it's the outside instep. This shot is really exciting. The commentator couldn't help but praise Lin Chen's shot. On the pitch, Lin Chen, who just scored a goal, was quickly overwhelmed by the rushing teammates, and Mahmoud ran to Lin Chen first and hugged him high. Lin Chen also raised his hands and waved to the Schalke 04 fans who were on the expedition. Seeing Lin Chen's wonderful performance, Tedesco covered his forehead in unbearable shock. Hat trick! Lin Chen, who has just landed in the Bundesliga, had such a wonderful performance in the first game. I originally thought that Lin Chen just played well on the training ground. After all, as a youth training player, he will definitely feel uncomfortable when he comes to such a big stadium for the first time. But Lin Chen's goal completely dispelled Tedesco's doubts. Even in the Bundesliga, Lin Chen still showed amazing scoring ability. Mass Arena. At this time, only the fans of Schalke 04 in the visiting team's fan area were left to celebrate. Subsequently, Tedesco directly chose to replace Lin Chen. Before that, Raoul sent a message to Tedesco through Chairman Clemens, telling him not to overuse Lin Chen. Tedesco didn't understand Raoul's meaning at first, thinking that he was just telling himself not to train Lin Chen too harshly. But at this time Tedesco finally understood that the purpose of not allowing himself to overuse Lin Chen was to protect Lin Chen. In order to prevent Lin Chen from abusing the other party too badly and causing revenge. Tedesco finally saw the ability of this talented shooter from Castillo in this game. Immediately, Tedesco glanced at his watch. At this time, more than 60 minutes have passed, and Burgstaller can be used to replace Lin Chen. After Lin Chen left the field, he naturally received applause from the Schalke 04 fans. Lin Chen also responded to the fans with a smile and stretched out his hand. This friendly attitude won the favor of many fans for Lin Chen. Head coach Tedesco also shook hands with Lin Chen, and then patted Lin Chen on the shoulder to let him go down and have a good rest. Advertisement at this time, Bruno saw that Lin Chen was replaced, which also signaled the team to strengthen the offense. The Wolfsburg players were also a little terrified when they saw the head coach's serious expression. If you don't perform well in the next game, I'm afraid you will completely lose the trust of the head coach. Bruno's tactics also hit the point, and the Wolfsburg players played more and more smoothly on the field. The biggest reason is that without the threat of Lin Chen, Wolfsburg can put more players into the offense. In fact, Wolfsburg's lineup this season is far stronger than Schalke 04. That is to say, Lin Chen's performance on the court was too amazing to cover up this point. In the following games, Wolfsburg's new striker Weghorst also lived up to his worth and scored 2 goals in a row. Although Wolfcastle's offensive is getting more and more fierce, time has come to an end. In the end, Schalke 04 won the game with a score of 3-2 in the away game. After the game, fans far away in Daxia are constantly bragging about Lin Chen's goals on major platforms. The light of Huguo. As the commentator Shen Jian said, this game will be recorded in the history of Huxia football. Lin Chen cowhide. Lin Chen cowhide. Lin Chen cowhide. Looking at Ronaldo is just a joke, but the Real Madrid champion has to watch the Ling Kaihu champion. 60 minutes ago, this was Schalke 04. With Lin Chen off, this is Schalke 04. After the game, some fans put the highlights of Lin Chen's goals in this game on Station A, and the number of views of the video soon exceeded 1 million times. At the same time, the Cyclops Bowen platform is boiling. Hot search number 1, Lin Chen hat-trick. Hot search number 2, Lin Chen scored twice. Hot search number 3, Lin Chen opened the scoring. Hot search number 6, Lin Chen's debut. Lin Chen alone occupies 6 of the top 10 hot searches. Advertisement. The Hua people who didn't pay attention to football before were also shocked by this scene. What's the situation? Has been bought hot search list. The unsuspecting crowd rushed to find out who Lin Chen was. They were a little surprised when they learned that Lin Chen had performed a hat-trick in the Bundesliga. Huxia players? Are you kidding me again? Who doesn't know that Huguo football has been rotten to the root? How could such a player appear? However, after the doubts dissipate, it is often more violent touting. Even the fans didn't expect that this group of fans who never watched the game posted praises for Lin Chen on various platforms. Of course, in the end, I didn't forget to compare Huguo football. All of a sudden, Lin Chen explode the whole country. The day after the game, Lin Chen followed the team back to Schalke 04's base. Lin Chen, who was about to take a break, was suddenly stopped by the staff. Lin Chen, there is a company that wants to find you as a spokesperson. Since you were still in the game yesterday, the company left a phone number, and I hope you can contact them later. Afterwards, the staff handed a note full of numbers to Lin Chen. Lin Chen was a little surprised that someone wanted to endorse him so quickly. But immediately, Lin Chen thought that if he accepted it, he would discuss the contract with the other party. This is convenient, but Lin Chen doesn't understand it at all. How about finding an agent? An idea suddenly popped up in Lin Chen's mind. P.S. Anyone else? Tat, looking for flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and various data. Chapter 38. In fact, Lin Chen always knew that he didn't have an agent, so he should sign one. When promoted to Castile, Lin Chen thought about finding an agent to help him with his daily affairs. However, although he played well in Castillo before, but after all, it was a league in the 2nd Division B, and he received little attention. Now I have performed a hat-trick in the Bundesliga, although the Bundesliga is not as concerned as La Liga, Premier League, and other leagues. However, Lin Chen was still targeted by some companies and wanted to let him endorse their own advertisements. There are many advantages to finding a broker. Most professional players do not have a clear and detailed career plan, let alone face various business problems and tens or hundreds of pages of contracts. Therefore, the vast majority of players choose professional agents to help them take care of these things, or entrust themselves to them. And many players will choose some very famous agents. Because these football agents have a lot of resources and have close ties with some wealthy clubs. So you can negotiate with major clubs more directly and easily. For example, when Messi entered Barcelona, the agent at the time signed Messi with a tissue. And the agents of many stars are not professional agents, but their own family members. For example, Messi's agent is his father, and Neymar's agent is also his father. However, judging from the transaction operation of transfers and players, the professionalism and long-term nature of professional football agents allow players to ignore some factors outside the field and thus focus on the game. You can even use agents to operate other things other than football, such as investment and the like. Of course, there are also some disadvantages. Agents often use the title of thinking about players, seek personal gain in it, and even entrap players' career development. For example, when Ronaldinho didn't go to Manchester United, his agent Big Brother Asis ruined everything. At that time, Manchester United was the closest club to Ronaldinho. Their offer was twice that of Barcelona, but Barcelona finally got Ronaldinho. Advertisement Ferguson was blunt about it, Ronaldinho didn't choose Manchester United because his nosy Big Brother Asis ruined everything. Because of the existence of Asis, we never had the chance to sit down and talk with Ronaldinho himself, it was all because of him making trouble. So Lin Chen had to choose an agent carefully. But now there is no suitable person around, so Lin Chen can only shelve this idea for the time being. When Lin Chen was worrying about his agent in the base, the outside media was already uproarious. Schalke 04's local media praised their player Lin Chen without hesitation. The 18-year-old genius center staged a hat-trick. The Bundesliga will usher in the next champion. Other German football media are also very curious about the player who scored a hat-trick in the first game of the new season. With 3 goals in a single game, Lin Chen is far ahead in the Bundesliga scorer list. Leave all the stars behind. In just one game, Lin Chen became popular throughout the Bundesliga. All fans know that Schalke 04 has a talented center Lin Chen. After that, the best goal of the current round of the league will be selected. Lin Chen's instep World Wave was undoubtedly selected as the best goal of this round of the league. After the first round of the 18-team competition, German Kicker Sports Network also selected the best team in the first round of the Bundesliga. Goalkeeper, Ojkan, Leverkusen, Defense, Schmelzer, Dortmund, Hinteregger, Augsburg, Ginter, Borussia, Zimmermann, Düsseldorf, midfielders, Witzel, Dortmund, Hoffmann, Borussia, Thomas Müller, Bayern, Neuhaus, Borussia, forwards, Loyi, Dortmund, Lin Chen, Schalke 04. Lin Chen also became the only Schalke 04 player selected for the best team. Advertisement Although Schalke 04 won the last game, there is no Schalke 04 player on the list except Lin Chen. I have to say how helpful Lin Chen is to Schalke 04. When the news came back to Daxia, the fans ushered in a carnival again. What is the king of the ball? Directly beat Lewandowski and was elected as the main center forward. Lin Chen, Schalke 04 is all about me. This is the first time I see Huxia players appearing on the same list as Schmelzer, Müller, and others. Perhaps because of Lin Chen's affable personality. Schalke 04 fans also love Lin Chen, a player who has just joined the team. Many fans want to take a photo with Lin Chen and ask for an autograph. However, Lin Chen's life is too regular, food, lodging and training are all in the base, and fans have no way to get in touch with Lin Chen. So the fans came up with some weird ideas. For example, when throwing a jersey into the base, it said that Lin Chen should sign it. A collective petition on the team's official website, hoping that Lin Chen can accept the fans' welcome. Some female fans even broke into the team's training base just to ask Lin Chen for a signed jersey. With all these things, the Schalke 04 club can't help but smile bitterly at this. We can only temporarily arrange for the team to hold a fan meeting. When the time came to September 2nd, Schalke 04 will face the challenge of Hertha Berlin at home. As expected, Lin Chen was selected into the starting list again. Chapter 39. Hertha Berlin. This is a football club based in Berlin, Germany. The current head coach of the club, Darde, became the head coach of Hertha Berlin in early 2015. In the first season, he helped the team barely relegation, and in the next 2 seasons, he led the team to enter the European theatre. But the 10th place last season. It also quietly ended the honeymoon period between Darday and the team. Although Darday wants better results this season to complete the contract extension. But this summer window, Hertha Berlin's overall strength has not improved. The veterans that the Hungarian coach relies on are 1 year older, and the team also has obvious shortcomings in the lineup. Although only one absolute main force was lost, Hertha failed to make too many articles in terms of signings. In addition to Lin Chen, only Pascal, the son of German goalkeeper coach Andy Kopka, is worth mentioning. In the new season, Hertha Berlin's prospects have nothing to do with the European war. How not to fall into the quagmire of relegation has become the team's top priority. Schalke 04's home stadium Veltins. Founded in 2001, it can accommodate more than 60,000 fans to watch the game. September 2. Bundesliga second round. Schalke 04 take on Hertha Berlin at the Veltins Arena. This is also Lin Chen's first match at Schalke 04's home court. When Lin Chen entered the stadium, all Schalke 04 fans applauded Lin Chen. This scene also made teammates a little envious. In just one game, Lin Chen has won the love of so many fans. Far away in Daxia. The commentators Shen Jian and Tao Jun also noticed this. It seems that with Lin Chen's current performance, it is very difficult for Schalke 04 fans not to applaud him. Yes, if your team also has a striker like Lin Chen who scored a hat-trick in his debut, I believe you will too. Then the two began to introduce the lineup of both sides. Advertisement: Hertha Berlin has a 343 formation. The striker is led by Ibisevic, and the midfielder Duda and Animeyer form the core of the midfield. Jordan, Rejek and Nicholas lined up on the back line. The formation of Schalke 04 did not continue the more conservative formation of the previous game. It may be that Tedesco feels that it is not easy to take advantage of Lin Chen, or that Hertha Berlin is a soft persimmon. Schalke 04 formed a 433 formation. The defensive line has not changed much, and it is still the four of Caligiuri, Salif, Naldo and Baba in the midfield. Zelda and Amin Ali, who started the game, both sat on the bench. Tedesco sent Algerian teenager Ben Taleb to form a midfield with McKennie and Marcotte. The striker is still led by Lin Chen, forming a striker line with Mbosa and Kono. The goalkeeper is still Captain Fellman. With the clock to 8 o'clock in the evening, the game is also officially started. Hertha Berlin should have a targeted deployment of Schalke 04. In order to cut off the pass of the Schalke players to Lin Chen, Hertha Berlin chose the method of chain defense. In this way, there are defensive players keeping an eye on Lin Chen all the time. But Lin Chen quickly adapted to this defensive style. 10 minutes into the game, Rudy made a cross from the wing, and Embolo slid the ball back from the front point. Just as Hertha Berlin's defenders were looking for the ball to land, Lin Chen jumped high from the back point. Completed an empty header in front of the goal. Boom! The ball crashed into the net. In just 10 minutes, Lin Chen helped Schalke 04 open the scoring. Although the fans experienced Lin Chen's strength in the last game. But Schalke 04 fans were a little surprised that Lin Chen scored a goal so quickly. At this time, the Veltins Stadium, which was almost full, burst into applause to congratulate Lin Chen for his header. Advertisement: many fans even said that Lin Chen should stay and compete for the championship this season. This kind of shouting has been wave after wave. Naturally, it reached the ears of coach Tedesco. Leave. Of course Tedesco wanted to take Lin Chen off. In the last 2 games, the combined playing time was no more than 70 minutes. And Lin Chen has already scored 4 goals, what a terrifying scoring efficiency at this time. In fact, after the last game, Tedesco regretted that the loan terms he signed with Castillo were too loose. Among them, there is a treaty that can be recalled at any time. In fact, he cannot be blamed for this. Even if I disagree, can I still beat Mr. Chairman? But Tedesco then changed his mind, even if he signed a loan contract that cannot be recalled at any time. In the end, a small club like Schalke 04 still can't keep Lin Chen, so it's better to let nature take its course. At least now Lin Chen is in the team, and he is very helpful to the team. Hertha Berlin coach bench. While Tedesco was dreaming, Hertha Berlin's head coach Darday was a little confused. This was scored? The ability to grab points in front of the door is too strong, right? Darday finally knew why Wolfsburg was beaten so badly by Schalke 04 in the last game. Lin Chen is simply a striker on the field. He doesn't miss any chance to score. On the pitch, Norwegian goalkeeper Alstein seemed deliberately annoyed. Why is there no one defending in place at the latter point? Hertha Berlin's defenders are also a little helpless. Facing Lin Chen, they are really powerless. Chapter 40. Madrid inside the Castillo base. Raul is also watching the game. Seeing Lin Chen scoring a goal in just 10 minutes of the game, I couldn't help but cheer for him. The Bundesliga has only started 2 rounds, and even this game has just begun. Lin Chen has already scored 4 goals, topping the Bundesliga scorer list. Raul is also very pleased with Lin Chen's performance, but also a little surprised by Lin Chen's adaptability. Originally, Raul thought that Lin Chen would first serve as a substitute in Schalke 04, and then gradually seek the main position. Unexpectedly, Lin Chen suddenly became the main center of Schalke 04. Not surprisingly, Schalke 04 can still win this game. At the same time, Raul sighed silently thinking of Real Madrid's performance in the new season. In the summer window before the start of this season, Real Madrid can be said to have signed countless signings. Nearly €80 million were spent on the forward position to buy Vinicius and Mariano. The defense also spent €32 million to buy the rising star Odriozola from Real Sociedad. Although the midfielder did not invest too much, there are not a few players who came to Real Madrid on free transfers. In addition, Courtois was also bought from Chelsea. In order to make up for the impact of Ronaldo's departure, Real Madrid's Yachuang's shots can be said to be extremely generous. But these new aides did not show a performance in line with their worth. Vinicius, who has high hopes, has not played in the last 2 games, and was directly dropped from the team's squad for the second time. Other new aides bought at high prices have no chance to play. Raul can't help but worry about the future of Real Madrid. The reason why Raul sent Lin Chen to the Bundesliga is to train Lin Chen so that he can return to Real Madrid in a better state in the future. It can be said that Lin Chen is the cornerstone of Raul's revival for Real Madrid. When Lin Chen has almost finished training in the Bundesliga, Raul is ready to let Lin Chen return to Real Madrid. On the court, the game restarted. Advertisement. Without waiting for Darday to make adjustments, Lin Chen gave Hertha Berlin another head-on blow. 20 minutes. After Lin Chen received a short pass from Marcut on the edge of the penalty area, he then gave the ball to his teammate Rudy, who was cutting in from the left. Lin Chen's pass directly attracted the attention of most defenders. After receiving the ball, Rudy did not insert into the penalty area to seek a chance to shoot, but kept dribbling on the left sideline. When Marcut ran past Rudy, Rudy gave the ball to Marcut. The latter broke directly near the bottom line. Mark. Here. At this moment, Lin Chen, who had been pacing outside the penalty area, directly speeded up and entered the penalty area. Marcut also heard Lin Chen's voice at this time, and directly made an inverted triangle pass. After Lin Chen received the ball, he didn't stop the ball and shot furiously at the ball. Shoot! The official commentator of the Bundesliga is a little unbelievable. Lin Chen actually chose this way of shooting, but there is a high probability that the ball will fly directly. It can be seen that this is not a conventional shooting method. At this time, I saw the ball spinning at high speed, and the ball rushed into the upper right corner of the goal. Hertha Berlin goalkeeper Alstein quickly discovered the threat of the ball. Then hurriedly jumped up, trying to intercept the shot, even though his fingertips had already touched the ball. But still unable to change the running route of the ball, the finger was directly knocked away and rushed into the goal. 2-0. Goal. It's unimaginable that Lin Chen's direct volley after running so fast is of such high quality. Hertha Berlin's defense looks so leaky against Lin Chen. The narrator also couldn't help but sigh. Schalke fans seemed to be shocked by this goal. There was no reaction at the Velten Stadium for the first time, and then deafening cheers broke out. Advertisement. The Schalke 04 players were also surprised by Lin Chen's shooting skills. Marcut didn't expect that just an ordinary pass turned into a goal in the end. After the goalkeeper Alstein and the 3 Hertha Berlin defenders were speechless. Then Yarsta sighed and fished the ball out of the goal. It's another world wave. Far away in Huiguo, in the broadcasting room of Sports Channel 5, Shen Jianba said in a high-pitched voice. This goal is no less than Lin Chen's best goal in the last round. Live comment section. Huiguo fans are also very happy that Lin Chen scored twice again. Head kick. Tell me who is the number 1 center forward in the Bundesliga. Lewandowski. When I saw Lin Chen in front of me, I felt the light was lost around me. What is the king of the ball? JPG Ling Kai King. I'm Superman. All Huiguo fans praised Lin Chen's performance. In the broadcast room, Shen Jian also commented on Lin Chen. Lin Chen completely crushed the Hertha Berlin defenders on the pitch. It was like a sharp sword went straight into Hertha's defense. Dalday has no way to restrict Lin Chen. As Shen Jian said, Dalday was in distress at this time. Originally, the team wanted to strengthen the interception ability of the midfielder, so as to limit Lin Chen's performance. But Lin Chen can always find the few opportunities to score the ball. Chapter 41. In just 20 minutes, Lin Chen scored 2 goals. The Hertha Berlin players were extremely depressed at this time, and even the players' psychology was somewhat affected. All the players on the field looked at the head coach Dalday. Do we still want to continue to play like this? The offense was restricted by Naldo, Salif, and others. And having Lin Chen in the backcourt involved too much energy for the team. The defense couldn't limit Lin Chen's performance, and the Hertha Berlin players were a little confused at this time. Dalday also saw that the players were not in high spirits. Then arranged for the team to strengthen the defense, first get through Schalke 04's offense in the first half. The game starts again. Although Dalday changed his formation, the two fullbacks Lazaro and Grujic retreated to defend. But at this time, the Hertha Berlin players were obviously out of shape and completely lost their desire to attack. Hertha Berlin striker Ibisevic is also a little helpless. Tedesco has also spotted a change at Hertha Berlin. In order to prevent being hit back, Tedesco then told the midfielder McKennie to slow down the pace of the game. Schalke's players faced Hertha Berlin, which was strictly defending, and began to fall in the midfield. Anyway, they are leading by 2 goals now, just be patient and look for scoring opportunities. McKennie also began to make cross passes and return passes in the middle circle. Oh my god! Did Hertha Berlin just give up the game? The commentators' eyes widened at the change on the field. Now they are 2 goals behind, and they have to choose to defend with all their strength. The Schalke fans on the Velten Stadium also laughed happily when they saw this scene. Then the fans booed and taunted the Hertha Berlin players. On the court, the Hertha Berlin players were also blushing at this time. In the case of falling behind by 2 goals, he even chose to hide and defend. But Darday's tactics were clearly successful. Advertisement: Lin Chen, a high center, can only walk in the opponent's half after losing the pass from his teammates. Facing a tighter defensive formation, it was difficult for Lin Chen to break into the penalty area. This situation continued until the end of the game. Schalke 04 locker room. Tedesco and the players formed a circle, explaining the tactics of the second half. Listen. In the second half, we will continue to press the opponent's defensive area. Embolo, Kono, you two try to enter the penalty area diagonally from the wing as much as possible. Whether the ball comes to you or not, you have to help Lin Chen pull away the Hertha Berlin defenders. Tedesco's tactic is obviously to allow everyone on the team to serve Lin Chen for free. Perhaps it is because Lin Chen often took his teammates to eat Huiguo cuisine before. The teammates did not express any objection to the coach's tactic. Especially Embolo and Kono, as forwards, actually wanted to cover Lin Chen, a center forward, to open up the shooting space. But the two had no objection at all, and instead happily accepted the coach's instruction. Later, they even threatened Lin Chen to treat them to hot pot if they didn't score a goal in return for their efforts. After the start of the second half, Hertha Berlin did not change their formation, and still chose to guard against death. Huiguo commentator Shen Jian couldn't help laughing when he saw this scene. Is Hertha Berlin going to wait for Lin Chen to leave the field before attacking? Tao Jun is right now. How is it impossible? Maybe the fans are not familiar with it. Before, when Lin Chen played in West Division B, the opposing team often waited for Lin Chen to leave the field before starting to attack. I guess Dalday and the head coach of West 2nd B think the same way. After Tao Jun finished speaking, the two laughed at the same time. Huiguo fans were also amused by these two commentators. The deterrence of the Ball King. JPG the sword bearer, Lin Chen. Advertisement: although it's very unkind, I also want to laugh, ha ha ha, on the pitch. Seeing that Hertha Berlin continued to choose to hide and defend, Schalke 04 also started high pressure. After receiving the ball from the sideline, the Algerian teenager Ben Taleb directly inserted into the center line in disguise. But then the Hertha Berlin defender appeared in front of him. They stood in front of Ben Taleb like a wall. But at this time, Rudy, Embolo, Kono, and others all ran forward. This made the Hertha Berlin players a little dazed. There was a brief vacancy in the team's defensive formation. Chance. Bentaleb knew that the time had come, so he took advantage of the situation and sent a through kick. And the target was Lin Chen, who was pacing outside the penalty area. Perhaps because this is Bentaleb's first starting game, Bentaleb is a little excited, and the ball gives a lot of power. So much so that Lin Chen was a little surprised when he received the ball and almost stopped. The moment Lin Chen adjusted, Hertha Berlin defender Nicholas was already in place. But at this time Lin Chen took advantage of the opportunity to dunk the ball and made a light change of direction, shaking Nicholas out of the defensive position. When Nicholas reacted and wanted to make a foul directly before Lin Chen entered the penalty area. Unexpectedly, Lin Chen directly resisted the pull of Nicholas, who had fallen to the ground, and brought the ball into the penalty area. Lin Chen actually dragged Nicholas into the restricted area. The commentator was also shocked by this scene on the field. Lin Chen's physical fitness is too strong. Facing the attacking Alstein, Lin Chen immediately raised his right foot and rubbed the ball. The ball drew an arc in the air, and then fell into the net. 3-0. Chapter 42. Goal. Lin Chen scored a hat-trick in less than 60 minutes. Then the voice of the commentator roared out, as if he was also excited by Lin Chen's savage goal. Velten Stadium, Schalke fans have been completely boiling. Pulling a defender behind can also score? What kind of monster player is this? After Lin Chen scored the goal, he ran to the corner to do a backflip in celebration. Then stretch out 3 fingers and point to the sky. Schalke 04 fans were also impressed by Lin Chen's confident charm. Lin Chen! Lin Chen! In the stands, all Schalke fans shouted Lin Chen's name. The voices of the fans became higher and higher, sweeping the stadium in an instant. At this moment, Lin Chen is the prince of Velten Stadium. Huguo Broadcasting Studio. Ling Kaiu King. I believe that the audience friends in front of the TV are all cheering for Lin Chen's hat-trick. At this moment, Lin Chen is the strongest player in our mind. Shen Jian's excitement was beyond words. The Huguo fans were completely shocked by Lin Chen at this time and were speechless. Is this really our Huxia player? Such a strong physique. Such superb archery. Inside the Velten Stadium. After Lin Chen completed his hat-trick, he directly chose to replace Lin Chen. Advertisement. When Lin Chen left the field, all Schalke 04 fans stood up and applauded Lin Chen. The applause from the fans lasted for more than a minute. It wasn't until Lin Chen finished hugging with coach Tedesco after leaving the field that it gradually calmed down. In the following game, Dardai also started to attack after seeing Lin Chen off the field. Under the counter-attack, both sides also scored a goal each. The final game ended with a score of 4-1. After the game, Lin Chen was once again elected the best player of the game. On social media, countless Schalke fans are forwarding this hearty victory. What a wonderful start to 2 consecutive league victories in 2 rounds. This time the reports on Lin Chen are no longer limited to the local Schalke media. Some influential football media in Germany have also reported on Lin Chen's player experience. Kicker magazine even chose Lin Chen as the cover character of the new issue, and directly stated, the new Bundesliga Supercenter leads Schalke 04 to 2 consecutive victories. Despite the praise from the outside media. But at this time Lin Chen didn't care about these at all, but concentrated on preparing for the next round of the league. Early the next morning, Lin Chen had just come out of the base dormitory when he was stopped by Tedesco. Morning, Lin Chen. Did you feel so excited that you couldn't sleep last night? Tedesco greeted Lin Chen with a smile. Lin Chen touched the back of his neck and smiled embarrassedly. It's okay, it's just 3 goals, I'm not too excited. After hearing a black line on his forehead, Tedesco knew that he would not ask Lin Chen this question. Then Tedesco calmed down and asked Lin Chen solemnly. After the 3rd round of the league, we will play the Champions League group stage. I know that your loan contract can be recalled at any time, so I want to ask you if you are willing to play in the Champions League at Schalke. Still ready to wait for Real Madrid's call-up. Advertisement. Tedesco's words made Lin Chen somewhat unexpected. Is the Champions League coming so soon? Lin Chen also understood that Tedesco asked this question for his own benefit. Because UEFA has regulations, after participating in the Champions League in the first half, the winter transfer window cannot participate in the Champions League for the new team. If you sign up for the Champions League in Schalke 04, you will not be able to register as a Champions League player in Real Madrid in the same season. This dilemma caused Lin Chen to fall into deep thought. Tedesco naturally understands why Real Madrid sent Lin Chen here. If Lin Chen's performance is not so impressive, there may not be such concerns. But now Lin Chen has scored 6 goals in 2 games in the Bundesliga. Top the scorer list. Even Real Madrid may be discussing whether to let Lin Chen return to the first team. Lin Chen was silent for a while, and then seemed to have made up his mind. I'm ready to wait for Real Madrid's recall. Lin Chen summoned up his courage and said to Tedesco. In fact, it was very painful for Lin Chen to make this decision. Now Lin Chen is very happy in Schalke 04, and the team can also formulate their own tactics. But Lin Chen is a Real Madrid player after all, and he came to Schalke 04 only on loan. If he signed up for the Champions League in Schalke 04, then Real Madrid would not be worth the loss if he recalled him halfway. Tedesco was slightly disappointed after hearing Lin Chen's answer. But soon calmed down. I believe you can. Lin Chen also felt a little embarrassed, and then assured the coach that the next game would definitely bring the team more goals. Tedesco laughed happily after hearing this. After Lin Chen left, Tedesco thought in his heart. Since he is destined to leave, there is no need to force him to stay, and now Lin Chen has a great effect on the league. Chapter 43. Although Tedesco was a little disappointed that Lin Chen gave up registration for the Champions League, he could understand Lin Chen's choice. After all, Real Madrid and Schalke, every player knows how to choose. What's more, Lin Chen is also from Castillo, so he is definitely more inclined to choose Real Madrid. But Lin Chen is still a little worried about whether he can return to Real Madrid in the winter window. So after Lin Chen finished talking with Tedesco, he called Raúl in Madrid. Hi. Lin Chen, I watched your game yesterday, you played really well. After Raúl answered the phone, he immediately congratulated Lin Chen. Haha, thank you coach for the compliment. Lin Chen first smiled, and then told Lauer what happened today. When Raúl heard that Tedesco wanted Lin Chen to register for the Champions League list, Raúl was not surprised. After all, Lin Chen is now the top scorer of the Schalke 04 team. It is not surprising that Tedesco has such an idea. But then Raúl thought that Lin Chen is now on loan. If Schalke 04 is registered for the Champions League, it may affect the probability of Real Madrid recalling Lin Chen. Just when Raúl was about to persuade Lin Chen said that he had rejected the invitation of Tedesco's head coach, but chose to wait for the recruitment of Real Madrid. But Lin Chen is a little worried about whether Real Madrid will recall him this season. If he doesn't have this idea, then I might as well play in the Champions League at Schalke 04. After hearing this, Raúl was silent for a while, and then said solemnly. Your choice is correct. If you were registered at Schalke 04, then the winter window team may not recall you. Now someone inside Real Madrid has noticed your performance in the Bundesliga. If you continue to perform like this in the future, I believe Real Madrid will contact Schalke soon to recall you. After Raúl finished speaking, Lin Chen was quite satisfied. Afterwards, Lin Chen and Raúl shared their recent life at Schalke 04, and Lin Chen hung up the phone. Advertisement on the training ground. Lin Chen and his teammate Makut are training. When scrambling for the ball, Lin Chen found that he could not catch up with Makut. You must know that Makut is 29 years old this year, but Lin Chen is still an 18-year-old player. It stands to reason that the young and vigorous Lin Chen should not lose to Makut. Seeing that Lin Chen couldn't catch the ball, he stopped chasing it and sat down on the grass beside him. Makut was also quite surprised after grabbing the ball, but Lin Chen didn't expect to catch the ball. Lin Chen, didn't you sleep well last night? After hearing this, Lin Chen covered his forehead. Why did everyone ask if he had slept well? It seems that I have good legs and feet, and I can play for a few more years. Makut stepped on the ball and said to the approaching McKennie. The latter mercilessly uncovered Markut's scars. Come on, Lin Chen is letting you go. If you can't run, you can't knock you into the air. Lin Chen's body is not comparable to your old bones. After McKennie finished speaking, Markut's face instantly collapsed, while Lin Chen laughed heartily. But Lin Chen also knew that it was time to increase his attribute points again. Including the reward for the first win in the Bundesliga, Lin Chen has now accumulated 16 attribute points. Then he opened the system panel and added all the accumulated 16 attribute points to the speed. At this point the panel properties have looked a lot better. Body, 100, Stamina, 75 Breakthrough, 50, Dribbling, 81 Shots, 70, Speed, 76 Defense, 30, Remarks, 100 Full Marks, 40 Amateur Teams, 60 Professional, 85 Major Leagues Buff, Shooter Instinct, 60% goal success rate in the big penalty area, 100% goal success rate in the small penalty area. Advertisement. Except for the relatively low breakthrough, other attributes are much higher than Lin Chen's half a year ago. Among them, the attribute of self-dribbling has increased the most, from the original 50 points to now a full 81 points. Lin Chen added all the attribute points accumulated in West Division B to dribbling. In addition, there are 2 points that I have gained through hard training. After adding points, when Lin Chen once again competed with Markut in speed, he could not lose the wind. Even most of them can win Markut. This made Maokut's expression that had just eased down again. In fact, Lin Chen originally wanted to wait for a few more games to accumulate more attribute points and then improve his attributes. But the current situation of Real Madrid can't give Lin Chen more time. Although Real Madrid's record at the beginning of the season seemed to be okay, they faced some weak teams. The running in within the team is also a lot worse. As for after the new coach Solari took office, reuse the teenager Vinicius, although Bell was reused in the early stage, but then gradually replaced by Asensio or Vázquez. Although the subsequent performance was quite satisfactory, it was difficult to support Real Madrid's half of the sky. Real Madrid's record in various competitions is getting worse and worse. These may be far away for Lin Chen now, but they are also problems that Lin Chen must face. So step up and improve yourself now. Lin Chen then regained his composure and focused on his training. After nearly 2 weeks of rest, the third round of the Bundesliga also began. Schalke 04 will travel to Westphalia to play Borussia Mönchengladbach. Chapter 44. Borussia Mönchengladbach has a lot of fans in the Bundesliga. In the golden age of the 1970s, they insisted on full attack tactics and were widely welcomed by fans all over Germany. They were the top European football team in that era. After returning to the Bundesliga in the 2008-09 season, Borussia has maintained its position in the upper reaches of the league. In the previous 2 consecutive seasons, Borussia Mönchengladbach finished 9th in the league. Compared with the glory of entering the Champions League in the previous 2 years, this result is not very good. After the 17-18 season, the club also did not renew the Black Gold contract until the summer of 2019, but also did not fire the former Wolfsburg meritorious coach. Borussia will decide the future of Black Gold according to the progress of this season. In the first 2 Bundesliga matches, Borussia had 1 win and 1 draw. This record seems to be quite satisfactory, but compared to Borussia's investment in Xiaochuang, it is not enough. Apart from other things, it is just the striker Praia of Nice in Ligue 1 who spent €23 million to buy. The current situation of the team is not good, and He Jin may be taken down as coach at any time. So this game is very important for He Jin. At this time, Lin Chen was listening to the team anthem from the Prussia Park Stadium in the player tunnel. Samstagmittag.jet.es.los.ins-stadion.zoom.b, kelbergheim.auto.ist.die.stimmung.gro. Lin Chen is also very familiar with this song Die.elf.vom.niederrhein. Someone once joked that Borussia's team song has gone farther than Borussia's team in the Champions League. You can see the popularity of this song. Lin Chen couldn't help thinking, what a grand event it would be if it was at the Bernabéu Stadium. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it was raining lightly at the Prussian Park. But this does not affect the more than 50,000 Borussia fans who are cheering at this time. After the game started, Schalke 04 is still 343 in this game. But Tedesco was a little surprised to see Borussia's formation. Advertisement. Borussia's head coach, He Jin, chose 433 instead of the 4222 formation that has remained unchanged for thousands of years. In the first few minutes, Lin Chen began to struggle in the penalty area. The main reason is that the pass of the teammate cannot pass in, and it is always destroyed by the opponent's defender. Borussia's defensive strength is not weak. Ginter and Jančić are both long-established veterans. Seeing that the team was having a difficult time playing in the front court, Lin Chen had no choice but to come out to help. I have to say that Lin Chen's physical fitness and confrontation ability really helped the team a lot. With the cooperation of Lin Chen, the team's operation is also smoother. Opportunities also appeared in front of Lin Chen soon after receiving Rudy's pass. The new De Santo did not choose to wait for the ball in place, but ran towards the ball. The fullback Winter, who was originally defending De Santo, had no choice but to chase him out. Just after De Santo received the ball, he crossed it to Lin Chen immediately. Facing the incoming ball, Lin Chen first controlled the ball under his feet, because Jančić had already pushed forward from behind. Lin Chen saw that the ball was difficult to handle, so he handed the ball to McKenny in the midfield. The entire Schalke 04 formation also retreated. That's when Ginter and Jankic are slowly moving forward on the defensive front. McKenny escaped the pressure of Borussia's midfielder. As the ball was passed from McKenny's feet again, Maytut, who was waiting at the far end, started immediately and turned around to pass Gentle. When McKenny passed the ball, Tigant didn't fully focus on defense. Instead, he raised his right hand high, indicating that the linesman Maytut was offside. But Gentle didn't hear the referee's whistle, but heard a burst of exclamation from the audience in the stands. When Gentle looked back, Lin Chen did not know when he had already inserted diagonally from the right. And Jankic, who was in charge of defending Lin Chen, could only follow behind Lin Chenza and try hard to catch up. On the sidelines, Borussia head coach He Jin, who was sitting on the coaching bench, originally hoped to use two defensive veterans to limit Lin Chen's performance. Advertisement when He Jin saw McKenny pass the ball to Maytut behind Ginter. I didn't care much at first, thinking that the ball must be offside. When he turned his attention to the line judge, he found that the line judge didn't raise the flag, but ran after him. At this time, Lin Chen started quickly, and the speed was fully released at this moment, leaving Jankic behind in an instant. Danger! He Jin also sensed the threat of the ball at this time. Lin Chen had already held the ball under his feet when everyone was surprised. In front of you is the restricted area. Lin Chen adjusted his body while dribbling the ball, and rushed straight into the penalty area. Borussia's goalkeeper Sommer strikes when McKenny passes the ball as a goalkeeper, whether the ball is offside or not, this is what he has to do. But Lin Chen didn't give him a chance to show off. The first time Lin Chen ran into the penalty area, facing Suo Mo who was attacking, he directly chose a lob shot. The football was rubbed by Lin Chen into a parabola and flew from the air to the goal. Sommer quickly retreated, and then flew into the air, trying to throw Lin Chen's lob shot out, but it's a pity that he didn't touch anything, the ball went directly over his palm and fell into the goal. 1-0. Fantastic! Lin Chen tricked the goalkeeper with a lob shot and helped the team gain an advantage on the pitch. While Lin Chen and his teammates were celebrating, the system's notification suddenly sounded. Hidden task, goals in 3 consecutive games for the first time in the 5 major leagues, completed, task reward, 15 attribute points. Chapter 45. Another 15 attribute points. Lin Chen didn't hesitate, and directly added all the 16 points of attributes accumulated at this time to the speed again. Body, 100, stamina, 75 breakthrough, 50, dribbling, 81 shots, 70, speed, 92 defense, 30, remarks, 100 full marks, 40 amateur teams, 60 professional, 85 major leagues. Lin Chen couldn't help laughing happily when he saw the speed attribute value of 92. Even thinking about it, can I compete with Bell and others in speed with this attribute value now? Lin Chen couldn't help feeling grateful for his choice to come out for leveling. If he stays in Real Madrid's first team, he may not even get a chance to play now. Not to mention scoring goals in 3 consecutive games. Shift. He Jin spat out a dirty word angrily. Before the game, the information given by the team's analysis team was that Lin Chen was just a clumsy high center forward. He Jin really wanted to ask those analysis coaches. Which hulking high center did you ever see run like lightning? On the sidelines, Tedesco had the same reaction as He Jin. Why is this kid so fast? I haven't found it before. Tedesco turned to assistant coach Peter and asked. Peter was also amazed at Lin Chen's speed, and was so shocked that he couldn't speak for a long time. In fact, Lin Chen's speed is not much faster than some wingers. But Lin Chen has never shown that he has the ability in this area before. Advertisement on the court. Most of them still rely on their own body and ability to grab points to complete the scoring. But like today, this is the first time to directly use the speed to throw off the opponent's defender. At this time, Tedesco only felt that he had discovered the new continent again, and immediately arranged for the team to try to create opportunities for Lin Chen to fight for speed. Tedesco wanted to see what else Lin Chen hadn't shown. Soon. The 22nd minute of the game. McKenny made a straight pass, and the ball slipped through the middle of Borussia's 2 midfielders. Lin Chen started in an instant and took the ball under his feet. But at this time Lin Chen has come to the right side of the court, and there is Swedish international Wendt guarding in front of him. This time Winter obviously learned the lessons of the 2 Jankic before. Without giving Lin Chen a chance to adjust again, he directly went up to force Lin Chen. At the same time that when Te kicked up, Lin Chen pushed the ball forward vigorously. Who is this ball going to be passed to? After seeing Lin Chen's inexplicable kick, the commentator was also a little confused. There was no longer any player in front of him. Just as the commentator was about to say the next sentence, he was suddenly interrupted by the exclamation of the fans in the stadium. I saw that after Lin Chen lost the constraint of dribbling the ball, he directly accelerated to the ball with all his strength, overtaking on a curve. The narrator was also shocked by this scene. What the hell? A high center has to compete with a full back for speed. Winter also noticed Lin Chen's intention at the first time, and quickly turned around to grab the ball. But Lin Chen's speed value of 92 at this time can't be compared with Winter. In just an instant, Lin Chen got rid of the two positions of Wen Te. The sound of the wind passed by Lin Chen's ears. At this moment, Lin Chen only felt that the feeling of running was great. Too fast. Lin Chen directly left Winter far behind. In the stadium, Borussia's fans gasped when they saw this scene. Advertisement. After Lin Chen got the ball, he continued to dribble forward and diagonally into the penalty area. At this time, Ginter was still chasing Lin Chen. They never expected that Lin Chen could eat Winter raw with his speed. This time Sommer seemed a little timid when facing Lin Chen, but he hesitated halfway through the attack. Seeing this, Lin Chen directly kicked the goal, and the ball quickly slid across the grass. The ball was played fast and at an angle, and Sommer didn't touch the ball after he went down to the ground. 2-0. Lin Chen scored twice in less than 30 minutes. The Croquet fans were left speechless by Lin Chen's goal. But Borussia quickly adjusted their tactical layout under He-jin's hint. Strengthen the press on the Schalke 04 midfielder, so that their midfielder McKennie can't get the ball. On the court, Lin Chen lost the support of the front court and could only be forced to go back to participate in the defense. But Borussia seized on Schalke 04's brief period of chaos. New Aid Praia scored 2 goals in a row. Let the Borussia fans rekindle hope, and the Prussian Park Stadium once again broke out with enthusiastic shouts. Knowing the ball, Huguo fans couldn't help complaining about the chaos in Schalke 04's midfield. Schalke's midfielder is too soft. They can't even hold the ball firmly under pressure. Lin Chen can't help it. How can he score a goal if he can't pass the ball? If we continue to play like this, Schalke will probably lose this game. At this time, the Schalke fans on the expedition to the Prussia Park Stadium saw the score being equalized, and they couldn't help worrying. Seeing that Lin Chen was still running without any spare energy on the court, Schalke fans couldn't help but think of Lin Chen's performance in the previous 2 games. So Schalke fans put all their hopes on Lin Chen. I hope Lin Chen can also lead the team to victory like the previous 2 games. Chapter 46. On the pitch. Lin Chen stepped back and caught the ball more and more. Borussia's defenders Ginter and Jancic were also taken aback. The coaching staff hadn't said anything before that the Huxia would play like this. Before the game, He-jin only told them to limit Lin Chen's grabbing points and making the ball near the penalty area. This is the first time that he retreats to the midfield to get the ball like this. Seeing that Lin Chen retreated so deep, Borussia's defenders couldn't defend Lin Chen closely. If they also run to the midfield, the team's formation will be completely messed up. At this time Borussia's midfielder. The appearance of Lin Chen also gave you a lot of trouble for Strobel, and you were almost robbed several times. That is to say, Lin Chen's current defensive ability is relatively low, otherwise Borussia's midfielder may not be able to defend Lin Chen's impact now. On the other hand, Schalke 04. After Rudy and Ben Taleb received Lin Chen's support, the entire team's operation became more and more smooth. Soon the opportunity presented itself again. After Lin Chen retreated to get the ball again, Rudy responded to Lin Chen's pass. Borussia's midfielders Strobel and Hoffmann hurried forward to surround them. Rudy hurriedly handed the ball to Markut in front, and then the 2 back and forth near the middle circle. After 3 passes and 2 downs, the football was picked out without any risk. At this time Lin Chen has gradually moved to the back line. Pass the ball. Pass the ball forward. On the coach's bench, Tedesco was a little anxious at this time. Originally, the team had a 2-goal lead, but it was only a little careless that the opponent's forward seized the opportunity. Tedesco didn't want to end the first half with a tie. After Rudy heard the coach's shout, he glanced at Lin Chen's position out of the corner of his eye. When Borussia's midfielder stepped forward to press again, Rudy pushed the ball out with a straight kick. Advertisement, and the target is Lin Chen. This time it's not a back and forth with Makut, this time the pass has spanned a third of the pitch. The ball flew towards Lin Chen's position against the turf, past Borussia's two midfielders. By the time Strobel reacted, the ball had already gone away. But Strobel also had some doubts about where the ball was going to go. When Borussia's front court players thought it was another aimless pass, Lin Chen suddenly appeared in their field of vision. It turned out that before the ball came, Borussia's two central defenders stepped forward together. While intercepting the ball, it also put Lin Chen in an offside position. But Borussia's left-back Winter obviously didn't understand the meaning of his teammates, and he was still standing on the side stupidly. Just when Borussia's teammates thought the ball was going to end without a problem, Lin Chen passed gentle and got the ball. The linesman didn't raise the flag. At this time a successful anti-offside. Then the commentator's voice sounded. On the pitch. After Lin Chen received the ball, there were no obstacles in front of him. The opponent's goalkeeper Sommer stood on the empty half of the pitch, looking extraordinarily vulnerable. This is offside. At this time, Borussia's players reacted, and full-back Winter was also very annoyed. Just at the moment when the Borussia players were stunned, Lin Chen has rushed to the edge of the penalty area. Facing the attacking goalkeeper, Lin Chen did not panic and firmly controlled the rhythm of dribbling. As Lin Chen simply buckled the football to the left, he also changed direction. At this time, Lin Chen brushed past the goalkeeper who was jumping to the right, and fooled the goalkeeper Sommer again. Advertisement fake EN is real. Borussia's fans also noticed Lin Chen's intentions, and all gasped. At this moment, there was only a solitary goal left in front of Lin Chen. Lin Chen faced the empty door without hesitation. As if wanting to vent his emotions, Lin Chen slammed his left foot directly onto the ball. The football flew into the goal without any suspense, and didn't stop until it hit the net. One more goal. Lin Chen scored a hat-trick in 3 consecutive games. In the broadcasting room of Huiguo, Shen Jian almost jumped out of his chair happily. I have to say that Lin Chen has really given Huiguo football a lot of face, and it is understandable to explain this performance. Lin Chen's scoring performance this time is completely different from before, facing Borussia's tenacious defense. Lin Chen chose to use a counter offside to deal a fatal blow to the arrogant Borussia defender. Shen Jian's comments are indeed very sharp. I can see that Lin Chen's scoring method this time is completely different from his previous performance. On the bench, Tedesco was also surprised by Lin Chen's goal. It still uses the anti-offside method, which greatly exceeded Tedesco's expectations. Another brand new talent? Tedesco couldn't help wondering how many special skills Lin Chen has hidden that he doesn't know about. At this time, on the court, Borussia's players seemed a little out of their wits. After Praya's equalizing goal, Borussia's players also rekindled their hopes of winning. But Lin Chen's goal seemed to pour a plate of cold water directly on the heads of Borussia's players. At the same time, it also extinguished the renewed hopes of Borussia's players. Chapter 47. 3-2. Before halftime, Lin Chen once again gave Borussia a fatal blow. Tedesco and assistant coach Peter discuss Lin Chen's performance on the court. No wonder Real Madrid has to add a recall clause to the loan contract at any time. This kind of player really deserves so much attention from Real Madrid. Tedesco was a little excited at this time. Lin Chen's talent and ability really surprised him. There was even a moment when Tedesco thought it was their honor that Lin Chen came to Schalke 04. Thinking of this, Tedesco also shook his head with a wry smile. I didn't expect that I would have such praise for Lin Chen from the bottom of my heart. Borussia on the bench. The head coach Haejin was very angry. How could the team make such an obvious mistake? Haejin yelled at the left-back Winter on the sidelines, telling him to pay attention to keeping tactics consistent with his teammates. Winter wanted to defend something aloud, but failed to speak out after opening his mouth several times. Ginter also felt a little guilty, originally after seeing Lin Chen overtaking and scoring in a corner. Gentle still had a fluke mentality, thinking that Lin Chen had such an opportunity when Borussia's defense didn't pay attention. But this time it was offside. The speed shown by Lin Chen surprised Gentle. How can it be so fast? In fact, Gentle reacted the first time Lin Chen succeeded in anti-offside. Turn around quickly to catch up with Lin Chen and break the ball out of the baseline. But Lin Chen's speed was somewhat beyond Gentle's expectations, even Lin Chen was still dribbling. In just a few breaths, Lin Chen threw Gentle several positions away. After Haejin scolded the team's performance, Borussia's players did not dare to be careless. Advertisement: the game starts again. Borussia actively organized the offense, constantly attacking Schalke 04's defense. And Schalke 04, under the instruction of Tedesco, shrank the formation. After failing to pass the ball into the penalty area several times, Borussia also ushered in a corner kick. Facing this hard-won opportunity, Hagen signaled the two fullbacks Nico and Winter to step forward and participate in the attack. After Tedesco discovered the situation, he immediately let the team concentrate in order to lose the ball. Winter stepped forward to kick off the ball, and the ball was pushed out by Naldo before it fell completely into the small penalty area. The Schalke 04 players also breathed a sigh of relief, while Borussia's forward Praia seemed a little annoyed. After all, heading is not his strong point. Facing the tall and burly Naldo, heading does not bring him many opportunities. Borussia's fans are also a little regretful. Kikai sighed and regretted this attack. Just when everyone let down their vigilance, Schalke 04's goalkeeper and captain Fellman threw the throw directly and quickly. Borussia's players quickly noticed something was wrong and quickly retreated to the defensive line. At this time, Lin Chen has already received the ball on the edge of his own center circle. This time Lin Chen did not choose to hold the ball on the spot and wait for his teammates to step forward. Instead, he adjusted his posture directly, and then took the ball and ran towards the opponent's half with all his strength. With the blessing of 92 speed and 81 dribbling attributes, the ball seemed to be glued to Lin Chen's feet. Even though he was running with all his strength, the ball was still firmly controlled by Lin Chen. At this time, apart from the two central defenders, there was only an empty field in front of Lin Chen. Lin Chen looked at the court in front of him, like a vast and endless prairie. Lin Chen didn't hesitate, and went straight to speed up. Lin Chen gallops like a steed on the field. Facing Lin Chen's rapid advance, Gentle seemed a little hesitant this time. I don't know whether I should retreat to protect the goal, or should I go forward and press directly. Just the moment Gentle thought. Lin Chen passed Gentle with an accelerated change of direction. Danger! Advertisement: there is no one else in front of Lin Chen except the goal, and Janchik is still trying to catch up. The tone of the narrator is very passionate. Borussia fans in the stands even booed in horror. At this time, Sommer had no choice in the face of this situation, so he chose to attack directly. When Sommer just ran halfway, Lin Chen was almost at the edge of the penalty area. What a speed! Sommer couldn't help feeling a little startled. His teammates Gentle and Janchik have been completely left behind Lin Chen. Lin Chen saw Sommer's attack, and a smile suddenly appeared from the corner of his mouth. Waiting is now. At this time, Lin Chen has just stepped on the edge of the penalty area while dribbling the ball quickly. Lin Chen adjusted his posture and kicked the ball hard. Lobby! Borussia's fans uttered a panic cry. Hit halfway. Sommer looked at the ball slowly flying overhead and backed away in a hurry. It's a pity that when the ball fell into the net, even though Sommer had completely flew his body upside down, his fingers still didn't touch the ball. Another goal. In less than half time, Lin Chen has completed the Big Four. Borussia has been completely beaten at this time. In the stands, the away Schalke fans cheered heartily and celebrated this wonderful goal with the players on the field. The Prussian Park Stadium seems to have become the home of Schalke fans at this time. Because the voices of Borussia fans can't be heard here at all. P.S. Anyone else? Tat, looking for flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, and various data. Chapter 48. Lin Chen went crazy. Borussia's players no longer know how to defend Lin Chen. Head coach He Jin paced on the bench for a long time, as if he had made up his mind. Then he shouted to the players on the field, "Attack! Press it out! Don't let them attack so comfortably." Borussia's players couldn't believe it when they heard the coach's instructions. "I couldn't guard against Lin Chen at first, so I still want to press him out to fight?" But seeing He Jin's firm tone, Borussia's players had no choice but to follow suit. The game starts again. At this time, it was less than 10 minutes before the end of the first half of the game, and Borussia started a crazy attack. Tedesco sensed that something was wrong, and then directly asked Makut and De Santo to withdraw from the front court to defend. Only Lin Chen was left in ambush in the opponent's half as the only single arrow. But there is a gap between the strength of Schalke 04 and Borussia after all, facing Borussia, who is fighting to the death. Schalke 04 could only be forced to defend with all their strength. Praia, who scored twice, was also taken care of by Schalke's defensive players. After Naldo once again intercepted the ball passed to Praia by Borussia's players. The first half of the game also ended. Schalke 04 locker room. The players looked very excited, and the fierce offensive and defensive transition in this half of the game also made the players feel the long-lost passion. Lin Chen, your performance today really surprised me. Head coach Tedesco also praised Lin Chen unreservedly. Oh my god, this is the first time I've seen Lin Chen soaring on the court. Advertisement Markut was still immersed in Lin Chen's goal just now, and then asked the team captain Fairman. Did you discuss with Lin Chen about the quick serve throw? Seeing Lin Chen directly dribbling the ball and launching a counterattack, De Santo and I were shocked. We thought Lin Chen would take the ball and wait for us. Fellman spread his hands slightly when he heard Markut's question, showing his innocence. How could it be negotiated? I haven't practiced this tactic before. I saw that Lin Chen was unmarked, so I gave the ball to Lin Chen. Tedesco heard the players' discussion, thought for a while, and then clapped his hands to signal the players to stop the discussion. Borussia may continue to attack in the second half. We have a 2-goal lead now, so we don't rush to attack. The most urgent task now is to defend Borussia's offense, try to control the ball as much as possible, and first consume the physical strength of Borussia's players. Then others should try their best to create opportunities for Lin Chen, and launch a counterattack at the last moment. There was no problem before Tedesco's remarks, but the players were a little surprised when they heard the last sentence. Last moment? Lin Chen is out. The Schalke players had some doubts in their hearts at this time, but they did not ask the coach. Second half begins as Tedesco expected. Borussia has been putting pressure on Schalke in the front court. Schalke 04 fully retreated to their own half, and even retreated to the edge of the penalty area, trying to defend Borussia's fierce attack as much as possible. According to the arrangement of the head coach, Lin Chen cruised alone in the front court. Occasionally, it can help the team participate in the defense and harass the opponent's players to get the ball. As for whether the midfield can hold it, it depends on your teammates. But as a lone striker, Lin Chen cannot retreat too deep, otherwise the team will not have a fulcrum in the front court. At this time, Schalke's midfield has been completely suppressed, and it is difficult for Lin Chen to get the ball and get a chance. Lin Chen's actions also made Hae-jin very uncomfortable. Advertisement: as long as Lin Chen stands in the front court, Hae-jin always feels that Lin Chen is a deadly threat to the team. But at this time, the team is 2 goals behind, and it can't be controlled so much. And Hae-jin thought again at this time, Lin Chen should end. The only one who can replace Lin Chen is Bergstaller. The 29-year-old Bergstaller can't attack Borussia's defense like Lin Chen. In the stands, Borussia's fans also had the same idea as Hae-jin. Because in the first 2 games, Lin Chen would end in 60 or 70 minutes. Now Borussia fans can only hope that Schalke can replace the biggest threat at present. Time gradually passed. In the 70th minute, Borussia's fans finally saw that Tedesco was about to make a substitution. However, seeing the substitution number cited by the 4th official, everyone was stunned, including the Schalke players. Number 23 Baba replaces number 9 De Santo. This was Schalke's last substitution, with Tedesco replacing a striker with a defender. This made Borussia's fans a little confused. Lin Chen is going to play the whole game? After the substitution, Schalke 04's defense became much more stable. At the same time, more passes can be given to Lin Chen. When Baba, who had just come off the field, successfully defended Borussia's attack, he directly gave the ball to Lin Chen, who was retreating from the center circle, to respond. After Lin Chen took the ball, he turned around and dribbled the ball, relying on his speed to move forward. But not far past the halfway line, Borussia's midfielder Hoffmann tried to stop Lin Chen's advance. He directly reached out and pulled Lin Chen down, stopping the counterattack with a tactical foul. Drop. The referee whistled for a foul and gave Schalke 04 a free kick. Chapter 49. Set the ball. Hae-jin didn't feel anything wrong after seeing Hoffmann blocked Lin Chen from advancing with a tactical foul. If there is no more interception, Lin Chen will face the 2 central defenders. Hae-jin really didn't dare to pin his hopes on Ginter and Janchik, who were about to be sifted by Lin Chen. On the pitch, Rudy stood on the penalty spot and gestured, and found that there was still a lot of distance from the goal. It is definitely not possible to hit the goal directly, and Tedesco also signaled Rudy to hang into the penalty area from the sidelines. When everyone stood still, Rudy directly took a set kick. Due to the distance from the goal, Rudy kicked the ball with all his strength. In the penalty area, Schalke 04 did not send too many players to fight for the header. There were only Lin Chen and the 3 players in the front court. As for the others, they stayed behind to prevent Borussia from counter-attacking. Seeing the ball fly into the penalty area. Facing the double teaming of Ginter and Jančić, Lin Chen jumped straight up, and Ginter also jumped at the same time as Lin Chen. But compared to Lin Chen's takeoff height, it is more than 10 centimeters lower. Lin Chen shook his head vigorously against the ball, and the ball suddenly changed its course in the air and went straight to the upper right corner of the goal. Perhaps it is because there are too many players in the penalty area. Borussia's goalkeeper Sommer did not have time to make a save in the first place. The ball went straight to the dead corner of the goal, and Lin Chen scored another goal. The ball went in. Schalke 04 took advantage of this set-piece opportunity after holding on for nearly 30 minutes and successfully completed an attack. Schalke 04's high center Lin Chen scored another goal. This is already Lin Chen's 5th goal in this game. Advertisement. It's really hard to imagine that 5 goals in a single game were scored by a youth player who just turned 18. In the stands, Borussia's fans can no longer bear the team's poor score. As a traditional powerhouse of the Bundesliga, it is really unacceptable for a young teenager to be beaten like this. It's almost 80 minutes now, and the team is still 3 goals behind. Borussia fans no longer know how to win this game. Many Borussia fans even chose to quit the stadium seeing the hopelessness of winning. Of course, there are not a few fans who still stay in the stadium. Although the game is not over yet, many fans have already begun to discuss the reasons for the disastrous defeat of the game. One of the most talked about is Schalke 04's young teenager Lin Chen. Aside from talking about the team, I am also surprised to just witness the record of 5 goals in a single game. But I'm a little curious. Is Schalke 04's youth training so good that it can cultivate such a comprehensive center forward? The north stand of the Prussian Park Stadium, Borussia's diehard fans area. Some fans were discussing the game with their friends. When the latter heard Lin Chen, his eyes suddenly lit up, and he could be seen as a Bundesliga fan of Lin Chen. No, you may not know Lin Chen. He came out of Castillo's youth training, that is, Real Madrid's second team, and now he is only on loan at Schalke 04. I remember that Bayern seemed to offer to buy out Lin Chen, and offered a full offer of 10 million euros, but Castillo did not agree. With that said, this Lin Chen fan made a happy expression. Fortunately, I didn't buy it. Otherwise, judging from Lin Chen's current performance, if Bayern really came, it would be really devastating news for other Bundesliga teams. At this time, many Borussia fans have heard the conversation between the two. When I heard that Bayern was willing to spend 10 million euros to buy Lin Chen, who had never played in a high-level league at the time, I was also very surprised. However, judging from Lin Chen's performance in Schalke 04, he is indeed worth the price, and it is far more than that. Advertisement. Borussia's fans can't help but lament the rise of another super center, and even hope to become the contemporary world champion after Melo. The game starts again. At this time, there are less than 10 minutes left before the end of the game. Under Tedesco's instructions, the team started a comprehensive defense. Or just leave Lin Chen cruising around in the opponent's half to look for opportunities. But in the final moments, both sides seemed to have no desire to compete. On the one hand, Borussia is already 3 goals behind at this time, and in the remaining time of less than 10 minutes, it can basically be said that they cannot catch up. On the other hand, after Borussia slowed down the pace of the game, Schalke 04 also slowly passed the ball back and forth in the midfield, trying to kill the last time. In the end, the game also ended with a score of 2-5. Inside the locker room, Schalke 04's assistant coach Peter announced good news to everyone. Lin Chen broke the record of the youngest Bundesliga player with 5 enlisted players. The team members were also a little shocked when they heard the news. Even though they already knew Lin Chen's ferocity, he actually broke the record that had been dusty for many years, which the team members did not expect. At this time, Lin Chen has scored 11 goals in 3 games, far leading the Bundesliga scorer list. Just as the team members and Lin Chen were celebrating their victory in the game, the system sounded again. Hidden task: break the record of 5 players who have been admitted to the school. Completed. Task reward: 10 attribute points. Chapter 50. Post-match interview. When a reporter asked Tedesco's opinion on Lin Chen, Coach Tedesco praised unreservedly. Lin Chen is the most perfect striker I have encountered in my coaching career. He has the ability to finish the game. As a head coach, if you have a player like Lin Chen in your team, you will be so happy that you will laugh out loud in the middle of the night. Tedesco's excited expression shows how much he loves this player. On the other side, the reporter also interviewed He-jin. When asked why He-jin lost this game, He-jin tried to maintain a calm mood and said, "Schalke 04 was lucky to win, but Lin Chen's personal performance changed the situation of the game." The media immediately cheered up when they heard these words. Is this a disdain for Schalke 04, or a compliment to Lin Chen? When the reporters wanted to ask questions again, He-jin had already walked out of the interview area under the signal of the staff. The next day, Schalke 04's away win over Borussia also attracted the attention of many media. As a traditional powerhouse in the Bundesliga, the team is still a very strong team in the Bundesliga despite failing to get a ticket to the European War last season. Facing Schalke 04, which is not very strong this season, Borussia was brutally slaughtered by Schalke 04 at home. Some media even used the word disgrace to describe the result of this game. Of course, as the winner, the media naturally praised Schalke 04's performance. Among them, Lin Chen scored 5 goals alone, and his record-breaking performance was even more special. Many German media have praised this young player from Daxia, among which Schalke's local media Football Rheinischen Morning Post praised Lin Chen even more. Advertisement: 5 goals in a single game. Break the Bundesliga record. Since the 15-16 season, when Bayern played against Wolfsburg at home in the 6th round of the Bundesliga, Lewandowski came off the bench to perform the miracle of 5 goals in 9 minutes. No player can break this single-game record. And Lin Chen, as an 18-year-old player, has accomplished such an achievement in only 3 rounds in the Bundesliga. This surprised many Bundesliga fans, and the happiest of them were naturally Schalke fans. Regarding Lin Chen's love, many Schalke fans got Lin Chen's emoticons while playing football from somewhere, and commented on Schalke's official blog. Gaze of the king of ball.jpg akimbo break. Hold on, let me score another goal. When Lin Chen heard the news, he couldn't laugh or cry. At this time, far away in Spain, Lin Chen's stunning performance also attracted the attention of the Spanish media. As the mouthpiece of Real Madrid, Marca also focused on introducing this game far away in the Bundesliga. Last night, when Real Madrid drew away against Athletic Bilbao, Lin Chen, who came from the youth training of Castillo, helped the team complete a big victory. When Lin Chen was still in Castillo last season, he had an amazing performance of 33 goals in 8 games in West Division B. This season, Real Madrid chose to loan the young centre-forward to Schalke 04 for training, hoping that Lin Chen can sharpen himself in the Bundesliga. But Lin Chen's performance has greatly exceeded everyone's expectations. As a young player who has just joined the team, not only has he directly secured the position of the main centre-forward, but also scored a total of 11 goals in the first 3 rounds of the Bundesliga. At this time, Lin Chen is far ahead of the scorer list, leaving all the stars far behind. In yesterday's away game against Borussia, Lin Chen even scored 5 goals in a single game, directly breaking the record for the youngest Bundesliga player with 5 enlisted players. Advertisement: compared with Lin Chen, Real Madrid spent €45 million in the summer window to introduce the talented Brazilian striker Vinicius from Flamengo this year. He can only see him on the bench and has not scored a goal in La Liga so far. Compared to Vinicius, the 18-year-old Lin Chen is particularly eye-catching. Facing the difficulties that Real Madrid have encountered this season, it may be a good way to recall Lin Chen from Schalke 04. This lengthy article in the Marca newspaper has attracted the attention of many Real Madrid fans. When they saw the Castillo teenager Lin Chen that was highlighted in the article, many Real Madrid fans are confused. Who is Lin Chen? Never heard of it before. This question was quickly answered by Real Madrid fans who often pay attention to the games of the second team. It wasn't until now that everyone knew about Lin Chen's amazing performance in West Division B, they couldn't help giving their thumbs up. When the fans found out that Lin Chen is now leading the scorer list in the Bundesliga, they could no longer hold back their emotions and ran to the Real Madrid official blog to comment. I think it's time for the club to pay attention to the performance of the players on loan. Won't Lin Chen be recalled? I think the team really needs a high centre-forward to support the front court. Such a talented player is loaned out. I wonder if there is something wrong with your brain. €45 million Vinicius is not as good as Lin Chen with 0 transfer fee. After the fans' uproar, it also attracted the attention of Real Madrid's top management. I originally thought that the fans would come to the official blog to vent their emotions because of the team's draw, but I didn't expect that the comment area was full of requests for the team to recall Lin Chen. When seeing Lin Chen mentioned by fans in the comments, some staff members were puzzled again. The staff of the official blog had no choice but to submit the fans' feedback to the club's top management. If you enjoyed this video, Please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.